presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Houston.
Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight it's game 2 of this 3-game set between the Astros and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. We witnessed a 1-0 game with 10 pitchers last night. It was the first time the Pirates have won here since the 09 season, JD.
Yeah, Bud Norris was very good for the Astros last night, and Jeff Karstens was outstanding for the Pirates. Now we'll look at tonight's pitching matchup. It's very interesting. Charlie Morton last year, just a miserable season. 17 starts. He was 2-12 with an ERA of 7.5. Made a little adjustment to his arm angle. He's thrown a bunch of sinkers. He has turned into a completely different pitcher. 6-3 this year with a 3.08. He's up against Jay Happ. Jay 3-8 with a 5.04. They've been going along nicely despite not winning. He's been pitching well, but got roughed up last time out.
So as the Astros try to square this series with the Buccos, the Pirates have climbed back to 500. Hunter Pence has been swinging a red-hot bat this month. We'll see if he can get it fired up tonight against the Pirates next. Wrong again. Well, this game already started actually a minute early, and the first pitch was hit. Jay Happ threw it. Jose Tabata hit it to center field. Michael Bourne tracked it down. One pitch, one out. For the Astros lefty Jay Happ. Here it is.
Beautiful way to start the ball game right there.
One pitch, one out. He's on a record pace.
That's Matt Diaz. In his last 16 games, he's been a .286 hitter. And he looks at strike one. Diaz is 7 for 12 in his career against Jay. And .245 for the season with 9 runs batted in.
And a good platoon player. He's always been able to hit left-handed pitching quite well. He's got some pop in his bat.
1-1 with McCutchen on deck. Pirates are 14th in runs scored in the National League. Last night they scored 1 and made it hold up. That was their 5th shutout win of the year. They've won 8 of their last 13. They've played very well on the road. That one cut in on Diaz, and it's a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Well, against the Pirates in his career, Jay Happ 2-2 with a 2.18 ERA. Good hard slider right there. He threw Diaz.
Now he hits the outside corner and catches him looking. He really worked him over.
Wow. Impressive start.
Starting lineup is brought to you by Xfinity. Clint Hurdle put together a card with Jose Tabata, Matt Diaz, Andrew McCutchen, Neil Walker, Lyle Overbay, Brandon Wood, Michael McHenry, Ronnie Cedeno, and Charlie Morton.
Jay Happ's had some early game struggles this year where he hasn't been able to locate, but so far he's been spot on.
McCutchen fouls it. Andrew at 0-1 in the count. He's on a 13-game hitting streak right now. A career high. Hitting .489, 22 for 45. .292 for the season, and a .389 on base average for the speedy McCutchen. 1 ball, 1 strike for McCutchen. Former leadoff man. Andrew's 24 years old, 1st-round pick in 05. 1-2. Gary Cedarstrom is the home plate umpire. McCutchen had a hit, a walk, stole a base in last night's game. Two balls, 2 strikes with Neil Walker on deck. McCutchen's from Fort Meade, Florida. In high school, he played baseball, football, ran track. Hit .709 as a senior with 16 homers.
709.
Nobody hit .709.
Where is he? Somewhere in Florida, right?
Fort Meade,
Yeah.
and he was the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Florida.
You know, Florida, there's a lot of good high school baseball. It's not like he's playing out some cornfield somewhere. It's bad competition.
No field of dreams for him. And the appeal goes to first. Check swing call. Adrian Johnson. It's 3-2 to McCutchen.
If you were to say he's from Ottawa, Ontario, and he hit .709, well, maybe the high school baseball is not so good up there.
Anger, Maine. That's a walk with 2 outs. 37th walk of the year for McCutchen.
According to Pitch Tracks, number 7 there was on the plate and on the knees. I guess it makes up for number 3 that was up and in but called a strike. Anyway, defensively, the Astros shape up this way. Michael Bourne, a late addition to the lineup. He was sick earlier today but bounced back, so he gets a start in center. Brad Mills sticking with his regulars here.
Neil Walker, the switch hitter, takes strike 1. Walker, a .256 hitter, has 8 homers. He's driven in 42 runs. Walker had a pair of hits in last night's game. He has a 10-game road hitting streak. Pirates were just awful last year on the road with 17 wins. They already have 18 this season. They were 17-64 on the road last season. One of the worst all-time road records. So in one sense, you might think, well, bound to be better this year. Not only are they better, but their record in road series is 7-2-1. One split of a series. So that's a .750 road series winning percentage, which ties for the best in the majors for Clint Hurdle's club.
Yeah, so they go from the worst to the best. That's just crazy.
Well, what's not crazy is their pitching. And we saw a very good effort as Clint Hurdle managed that game and used all those 6 pitchers last night. But his starter, Jeff Karstens, got him into the 7th.
Yeah, their starters ERA is 4th best in the league, and that kind of pitching travels. It wins anywhere.
McCutchen is 12 for 17 in steals. And the Astros have been observing teams running a lot on them. They have allowed 60 steals in 76 attempts. 2 balls and a strike.
JR's only caught 12%, 29 successful, 4 caught.
You saw the very good J Happ ERA, 2.18 lifetime against the Pirates. It's been solid every time out as an Astro against them 3 times. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Jay. 6 innings, 2 runs in August of 10. 6 innings, 2 unearned runs in September of 10 at Pittsburgh, and earlier this season at Pittsburgh, 6 innings, 2 runs for Jay against the Pirates. Fly ball foul. Brett Wallace running out of room. For the game, Brandon Lyon was placed back on the disabled list. That right biceps injury flaring up on him. Again, biceps tendonitis. There's Brandon. And Fernando Abad, the lefty who was with the Astros earlier this season, is being recalled from AAA Oklahoma City. Is not here now. Probably won't make it.
And Brandon will be examined in L.A. on Friday by Dr. Louis Yoakum.
Toward the right field corner, Hunter Pence tracking it on the run. He slides. It's off his glove. It's deep in the corner now. McCutchen will score to make it 1-0 Buccos. On his way to third, Walker with a triple. Hunter tried that sliding catch, but Walker winds up with RBI number 43 and gets his first triple of the year.
Walker just slices this one down the right field line. Very difficult throw. Hunter sells out, tries to make the play. And he comes up just a little bit short. Great effort right off the end of his glove. Yeah, that's going to cause a little abrasion for sure.
You bet. Lyle Overbay's the batter now. Overbay with a slow grounder to first. Get it off his foot. It's really ironic because I was just asking Hunter about that play before the game tonight, because you might remember when the Cardinals were here a few days ago, Alan Craig tried to go standing up and ran into that right field wall in foul territory, had 3 stitches in his knee. They just placed him on the disabled list. Well, Hunter slides, and I was asking him tonight, how do you know when to slide? And he went into an explanation that made a lot of sense. But he just said you cannot go running into that wall with a full head of steam and expect to come out of it in good shape.
Yeah, you know, if you stay up and go hard into the wall, you're really risking severe injury. And if you stay up but don't go hard, you're going to slow down so much to avoid contact that you're going to lose range.
He very narrowly missed that one. 2 balls and a strike. It's kind of been the story of a lot of games for J Happ. Near misses.
Yeah, well, I mean, we showed that replay of the 3-2 pitch to McCutchen. Could easily have been called strike 3, and he's in the dugout. I mean, I guess you could say that about every pitcher in every game. Seems like for Jay, there's been a lot of it this year.
It does.
So close to getting out of an inning or finishing off a hitter.
The last start against the Cardinals, he was tagged for 6 hits and 6 earned runs in 5 1/3 innings. But some of those runners scored after he left the game, and that's been another part of the season for Jay. 2 starts before that were very good, but he didn't get a win. He got a no decision and a loss in those 2. His last win was here against the Mets, May 14th. Now 3-2.
So an inning that started very nicely for him and efficiently. He had a couple very quick outs. Now he's had to work awfully hard. 23 pitches thrown so far as the triple follows the walk. Deep counts to the last 3 hitters.
Overbay grounds a foul.
And no surprise seeing Lyle Overbay see a bunch of pitches. kind of who he is as a hitter. Very patient. Fist bump.
Left-handed hitters have a .333 batting average against J. Happ. Cap will work just fine. Foul tip strikeout ends the Pirates first. They get a run on one hit, leave a man at third base, and take a 1-0 lead.
And by Southwest Airlines, new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats with no blackout dates. Johnny?
Thanks, Greg. Starting lineup for Brad Mills is brought to you by Xfinity. It's Michael Bourne in center field, Jeff Keppinger second base, Hunter Pence right field, Carlos Lee left field, Brett Wallace first base, Chris Johnson at third, Clint Farmer shortstop, J.R. Tolles the catcher for J. Happ, and Charlie Morton on the mound with a 6-3 record. Throwing ball one to Michael Bourne, who was inserted late into the lineup because he was ill earlier today. Went to the doctor, felt a lot better. 276 for Michael.
Well, Brad Mills doesn't have many left-handed options, and against Charlie Morton, you want to get as many lefties as you can into the lineup. Left-handed hitters hitting .356 against Charlie. Right-handers a .192. And, it's been a remarkable turnaround for Morton. 11-29, 08 through 2010 with an ERA of 6.
Tap to the right side. There's Walker over. One out.
And we showed you the numbers. Now we'll show you the why. Why is Charlie Morton so much better? Well, he's made a change in his delivery. This is old Charlie Morton, a guy who came right over the top with a four-seam fastball and a good curveball. A guy who's always been blessed with a good arm, but he struggled to have success. So they dropped the arm slot a little bit, started sinking the ball, and he has become an extreme ground ball pitcher and a very good pitcher. At 27 years of age, he has found himself.
Jeff Keppinger faces him.
Ray Searage, the pitching coach of the Pirates, and their minor league pitching coordinator, went back and looked at video all the way back from when he was in high school. And they said, this is the way you're supposed to pitch. This is the arm slot that God gave you. This is where you need to be.
Interesting.
So he dropped that arm down, and instead of trying to be a power pitcher and blow the ball by everybody, he's a lot of ground balls. And he throws about 80% sinkers. He does have good breaking stuff as well, but for the most part, he's going to lean heavily on that sinking fastball.
That is extreme. 3.9 ratio.
In 79 innings, he has only struck out 43. He even admits that there were times in his career where he just didn't have a lot of confidence when he went out there, didn't trust his stuff. After struggling last year, was sent down to the minor leagues, ultimately recalled. 2-12 with a .757 earned run average in 2010. A chance to be an all-star in 2011.
Apparently a television cameraman in Pittsburgh also challenged him not to fear greatness, and he took some inspiration from that.
He quoted Shakespeare, the cameraman did.
How many cameramen do you know who quote Shakespeare?
They're a learned bunch, Brownie. Cliff is always up here
Certainly
in between
are.
innings reciting poetry.
Our cameramen are, yeah. That's your shortstop. Ronnie Cedeno with a throw. That's out number 2.
Robin does difficult math equations in his spare time. Tabata McCutcheon, Diaz in the outfield. Wood, Cedeno, Walker, Overbay cover the infield for the Pirates, and young Michael McHenry is behind the plate.
Hunter Pence is at the plate. Well, that sizable hitting streak finally came to a halt at 23 games last night as he went 0 for 4. He lined out the first time up. Still a .320 hitter with 9 homers, 50 runs batted in. And there's strike 1. So he's had a 15-game streak, and then a week later he started the 23-game streak. He's hit in 41 of his last 44 games to get to those numbers.
He's on a lot of leaderboards.
That foul ball you just saw might be repeated over and over the way Morton can sink the ball in right-handed hitters, JD.
Well, the other thing about Morton, a guy who's had his stuff and there are high expectations placed upon him, and when you struggle, you're filled with self-doubt, and he's a very analytical guy and sometimes overthinks. Well, this style of pitching takes a lot of that out of the equation. And you don't have to do a lot of thinking when you're throwing 80% sinkers. You're just throwing the ball towards home plate and letting its natural movement do its thing.
1 and 2.
It's nice and easy. But it's not like he's just goosing it up there either. He throws 92.
Morton, 27 years old, from Flemington, New Jersey. Hunter lays off that pitch. Adrian Johnson agreed that he did. It's 2-2.
It's an unfortunate name for a town, isn't it? Flemington?
It is.
Right down the road from Boogerville?
Well, I'm not familiar with that part of the world.
Gotta be kidding me, Flemington. Change your name.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Flemington, New Jersey. Charlie Morton, the pride of Flemington, New Jersey. Throws a 3-2 pitch. And it's hit into center field. McCutcheon in. Walker out. It's looping in for a single for Hunter Pence. Starts a brand new hitting streak with a flare.
He's got a 1-gamer. 1 in a row.
He has a flair for hits.
Sinker didn't sink. It was chest high. Still didn't get real good wood on it, but he found a good spot for it.
It's his 89th hit, and Carlos Lee comes up. 269 for El Caballo, 5 homers. He's driven in 35. Red Wallace on deck. And that's ball 1. Lee is 5 for 15 against the old Charlie Morton. We'll see what he does against the new version tonight. Well, throw away all those numbers on Charlie. Shot into left field. Bring him back maybe, as it's back-to-back singles now with 2 outs.
Well, last time out, Charlie did not pitch particularly well. 4 innings against the Mets, allowed 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 of which were earned. But he came after a run of very good pitching. He had gone 5 consecutive starts, allowing 2 runs or less.
Red Wallace gets a 2-out RBI opportunity. Hitting .313, 4 homers, 20 runs batted in, 10th in batting average in the National League. Sitting .294 in the month of June. Last night Brett was 1 for 2, and then he left for a pinch hitter in the 8th inning. Astros managed only 4 singles in last night's game and 1 walk against 6 different Pirate pitchers. That's ball 1. That was the first ever 9-inning, 1-0 game involving 10 pitchers used.
Yeah, boy. Clint Hurdle had that 1-run lead, and he managed his backside off, boy.
Sure did.
Reesop a third of an inning, Watson a third of an inning. Wood came in, didn't get anybody out, faced a couple of hitters, then Veras for 2/3 before ultimately Hanrahan finished it off.
There were 2 more in September of a couple different years, but rosters are expanded in September, so this is under a different category. 2-0.
That's how you play a 2-hour and 45-minute 1-0 ball game right there. Because that thing was flying along until the 7th, and then locked up the brakes.
It sure did. There were many, many moves to the pen. Speaking of the pen, Doug Brocail is back for his second day as Astros pitching coach. 3 balls, no strikes.
Morton's inning is very similar to Happ's. 2 quick outs and then having some struggles, and he's been elevating that sinker. Lost his feel for it here. Green light and Wally right here if he wants it. Not even close.
Ball 4. Now it's Chris Johnson. Well, you mentioned that last start against the Mets for Charlie Morton was really out of character compared to the previous ones. 4 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned runs. And Ray Searage, the pitching coach, is on his way with the bases loaded. So Doug Brocail, with his first night as a major league pitching coach last night, comes back, and Brad Mills said everything was fine on the bench, no problem. Doug did his job. We didn't get a chance to talk with him before this game tonight to see what he thought, but he's back for another day.
Don't know what Lisa thinks.
That's the real challenge right there. Lisa wants a family vacation in the summer. Chris Johnson with 28 runs batted in and 6 homers has a .232 average. Well, Lisa could bring the family with us to L.A. tomorrow. Strike 1. She would get an expense paid vacation to glamour spots, Los Angeles and Fort Worth.
Shaky town.
Yep.
Better than going to Flemington.
Bouncer up the middle. Walker tosses. Cedeno's there for the force play on Wallace. And it's no runs, 2 hits. 3 men left. 0-0. 1-0 Pittsburgh after 1.
umpires couldn't evade the reins, so they did not play. A footnote to that Art Howe revealed on the pregame show, he had been sent out by the Pirates prior to the game. He was at the airport.
Oh, Brandon Wood leads it off, 1-0 Pirates. There's strike one. 223 for Wood, 2 homers, 11 runs batted in. Pirates have 9 players on the disabled list. One is Pedro Alvarez, who would normally be their third baseman. Wood fouls it away, and it's no balls, 2 strikes for Jay Happ. Wood has hit in 9 of his last 13 games, hitting .314. He was claimed off waivers from the Angels on the 22nd of April. That's in the air, and Jay Happ watches J.R. Tolles fling the mask away and make the catch. Let's check out the DL.
Veteran reliever Beimel joining Alvarez. Crowder Domit. Some question as to whether he'll be back for the All-Star break or not. Evan Meek, not good news on Evan Meek. He was an All-Star last year. Ohlendorf continues to do rehab down in Florida. Snyder, the catcher here from Houston, is out for pretty much the year, isn't he? Isn't that what they're saying now?
I haven't heard about that. I haven't heard the timetable on it. Mike McHenry looks at ball 1, but he has a definite disc problem. And he was supposed to do a lot of catching. So McHenry gets his shot instead. Looks for his first major league hit right here. 0 for 6. Formerly with the Rockies, and Clint Hurdle saw him there when they were both in that organization. Mike McHenry was 0 for 8 with Colorado last year and 0 for 6 this year, 0 for 14 as a major leaguer. 3 balls, no strikes to Mike McHenry, a 7th round pick of the Rockies in 06. Snyder has a herniated disc. Wyatt Torregas was up. Now he's gone. Doman is hurt. We saw him on the DL, left ankle sprain. Number 3 catcher Jason Jaramillo on the minor league DL with an elbow injury. Dusty Brown is here. And Torregas has been here and he's now gone. Liner over Clint Varmus into left field. First major league hit for Mike McHenry.
Big old smile on his face down there. And Brett Wallace checking in with him. Is that your first one?
Just barely. It was his first hit. Varmus almost got it. The ball's over in the dugout, and now the batter is Cedeno. Cedeno looks at ball 1, a .221 hitter with 2 homers, 18 runs batted in. He was 0 for 4 last night, batting second. 1 ball, 1 strike for Jay Happ. Florida 4, Philadelphia 1. They played 4 in Philly. Gabby Sanchez hit his 12th homer. He hit it off Roy Halladay, who's been tagged for 6 hits and 4 runs in 4 innings.
And that was it's part of a double header. Phil's thumped Florida pretty good in the first one. The Florida pitching staff has been under siege lately. A ton of runs. Well, they have a lead on Halladay. How about that?
That's crazy. Cedeno expands his zone and strikes out. That's number 3. Leaders of the game brought to you by United. Proud to fly the Houston Astros. Astros starters have allowed just 2 earned runs in the last 14 2/3 innings pitched. Another excellent job last night by Bud Norris. In the last 4 games, they have a 3.26 ERA. On the homestand of 8 games, 3.26. Strike to Morton. Morton has 1 hit and 25 at bats. No balls, 2 strikes for Jay Happ, shooting for win number 4 of the season. Jay is 2 and 4 at home. He gets a strikeout. That's number 4. No runs, a hit, and a man stranded. 1-0 Buccos.
As the Astros come to bat in the second. And hey, baseball fans, Chevy is proud to support youth baseball leagues in your local community. If you would like to learn more about Chevy youth baseball programs, go to youthsportswired.com. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. 1-0 Pirates. The Astros come up in the second inning. Barmas, Tolles, and Happ against Charlie Morton, who coming into this season had as many wild pitches as wins in the major leagues, 11 of each. But with this 6-3 start to this season, he's been one of the big factors in this Pirate rotation, combining for a 24-22 record, a 3.57 ERA. Pirates are 5th in ERA overall in the National League. Clint Barmas leads it off.
Maybe not to the extreme, but he's kind of like the Jose Bautista of pitching. Bautista made that adjustment with his swing and it turned into King Kong. Morton's made this adjustment with his delivery and awfully good.
Wood takes care of out number 1 over to Overbay. J.R. Tolles will bat with a 205 average next. Morton is 1-3 in his career against the Astros. His ERA in those games is 6.75 for 5 starts. Came right out of the chute with a 2-1 April record and an ERA of 3.00. Tolles with 3 homers has driven in 10. Happ is on deck. Strike 1. The Astros 2-6 on this homestand. They are now 13-23 at Minute Maid Park this season. And there's foul. Wood with a high off-target throw, but the ball had been called foul by Fielden Culbreth. No balls, 2 strikes.
Could be a busy night for the infielders with Morton on the mound. JR rolls over on that one. Culbreth well positioned right on the line.
Wood, a former shortstop, ready now for the 0-2 pitch coming to J.R. Tolles. Carlos Corporan has done the catching. Last night, JR started Monday night, had a hit and a sac fly against the Atlanta Braves in that 8-3 Houston win that night. In the opener of that doubleheader JD talked about, the Phillies beat Florida 8-1 behind Kyle Kendrick, who's 4-4. And Jimmy Rollins hit home run number 6.
43 runs the Marlins have allowed in their last 5 ball games. And Anibal Sanchez working this game against the Halliday. Fans treated to a heck of a pitching matchup there. Fox Tracks brought to you by Steele. You see Charlie Morton pounding that strike zone down below the knees.
Line to Cedeno. Ball was scorched, but Cedeno reached down and backhanded it. 2 outs.
And he's gotten good feedback when he goes up that he shouldn't go up because he's been, Hunter didn't hammer his ball. We got a base hit on a high fastball, and this ball was elevated, and JR smoked it.
Jay Happ is hitting .318. Ball 1 with 7 hits and 22 at bats. He has a homer, 4 runs batted in, and a double for Jay. Leads all major league pitchers with that batting average, and also an on base average of .375 for Jay, including 2 walks. Two balls and a strike. San Diego fell to Colorado at Colorado 6-3 today. Yoeli Chacin winning his 8th, beating Madletos. Rolled up to first base. Over Bay there. It's a 1-2-3 second for Morton and a 1-0 Pirate lead through 2.
One spectacular night in the summer's biggest event as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix at 7 p.m. Central, only on Fox. Bill?
That's right. Everybody voting right now on the All-Star Moments bracket. Round 1 voting ends June 18th.
Everybody, there's brackets for everything.
Yeah.
Celebrity brackets. You probably have what's your favorite vegetable bracket? Look at the size of that can.
That might not be a real big bracket. Talking about favorite vegetables.
Yeah, we got the asparagus squaring off against squash.
Yeah. So will it be Long Night's Journey or Ted Williams' walk-off? You can make your vote before June 18th. 1-0 Pirates. Jose Tabata led off the game with a fly ball to center on the first pitch. There's strike 1 for Jay Happ here in the 3rd on Tabata, who's been nursing his sore left thumb.
A little of that Gary Sheffield action with the bat, the hands high up above the head.
Yes.
That waggle going.
Tabata's from Venezuela.
Helps keep him relaxed.
2 balls and a strike to the 22-year-old outfielder. It was signed by the Yankees, traded to Pittsburgh in 08. Xavier Nady, Damaso Marte trade.
It's kind of funny because the Pirates are playing better this year and have made a little bit of a move. Not surprising to a lot of people, but I think what most people felt was that it would be their lineup. Their young position players like Alvarez and Tabata and Walker and McCutcheon that would really fuel their improvement. But it's been the pitching.
Good play there by Wallace. He was positioned right there where he needed to be. 1 out.
So the Pirates now in a very intriguing position, because now that they've found that they've got some quality pitching, if these young hitters do kind of come into their own, they got a chance to be a pretty good club in the not too distant future.
Well, they've already improved quite a lot to the 500 mark.
And finishing as poorly as they did all those years, they've had a lot of top draft picks, including a Jameson Taillon from up here in the Woodlands. He's in just his second year pro ball. He was the number 2 overall pick last year. He's going to pitch in the South Atlantic League All-Star game later on this month. And they just had the number 1 pick overall, the kid out of UCLA.
Garrett Cole.
Yeah, hard-throwing right-hander.
2-0 to Matt Diaz. No Pirate team has been above 500 in June since '99. Shot toward the left field corner, and it is a fair ball into that corner. Kicks back toward third base. Diaz easily into second with a double. The 7th of the year.
We showed you his splits the first time up versus left and right, and he really hadn't done a lot against left-handed pitching so far this year, but typically he is very good against lefties. And watch him spin on this high fastball. Great hands there. Well, when Jay works upstairs a lot and effectively, when a guy puts that kind of a swing on one up there, you go, wow, that gets your attention.
7 doubles for Diaz. McCutcheon walked and scored in the first inning. A triple by Walker. In the air, and Keppinger goes out. Pence comes in. Pence calls him off. 2 outs. Jameson Taillon pitched last night. He struck out a season high 8 while giving up 1 run in 4 2/3 innings against Single-A Greensboro. 2 outs, and Walker, who hit that triple into the right field corner, is the subject of this discussion between J.R. Tolles and Jay Happ.
Conversation as to how they want to go after him. They've got a base open and a left-handed hitter on deck. Again, this kind of thinking normally is reserved for the later innings in a ball game. But the Astros haven't really been tearing the cover off the ball lately. Charlie Morton's having a very good year. He may be tough to get to, so you tend to think late earlier. How's that for a yogiism?
That is a yogiism. Sounds good.
It gets late early out here.
Yeah. It's ball 1.
Well, I just figured I'd follow up you, because on the pregame you said you could see a lot by observing. Battling yogiisms.
There's a lot of wisdom, though, in those yogiisms. Yeah, Walker's a 187 batter, right-handed. 287 left-handed. But he hit the ball well his first time up right-handed. And he's now 2 for 7 against Jay Happ in his career. One of them that a lot of people really liked from Yogi was nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded.
And that does make perfect sense.
It really does. Yeah.
Nobody with a lick of sense. All the knuckleheads are jamming the place, but we're not going.
Line shot by Barmas into left center field makes it 2-0 Pirates. And Walker's driven in both. Sharp RBI single, giving him 44 runs batted in.
All the numbers told you that was a favorable matchup for Happ. What Walker's done from the right side, what Jay has done with right-handed hitters, but it's a changeup that just kind of sat there, didn't have much action, stayed up in the zone. Walker did a nice job staying back.
Walker came into this game a .350 career hitter against Houston.
And we talked earlier about Jay and the near misses. I'd be curious to know the percentage of his runs that have scored with 2 outs in an inning.
Okay. Ball 1 to Overbay. Yeah, it seems like that would be a relatively high percentage. Overbay struck out in the first inning. We've seen this pattern with several of the Astros starting pitchers this year. They might give up a run early and then go along for 3 or 4 innings. Not give up any more, but maybe not any run support from the Houston side. And then there's a bigger inning later on. Sometimes they leave their men on base who later score and they're charged to them.
Yeah, and I think that's to a certain extent, and don't want to take the starting pitchers off the hook, but to a certain extent I think that's a function of a struggling bullpen. When your bullpen's having a difficult time, one of two things happens: they come in and they struggle, or the manager starts to lose confidence in those 6th, 7th inning guys, so he leaves the starter in maybe a little bit longer than he really would want to, because he just doesn't feel like he has a better option, and then that fatigued starter is exposed a little bit.
Now Doug Brocail goes out.
It's a pretty good trot Brooks got there.
Yes,
his pitching coach Trot looks pretty good.
It's like his trot in from the bullpen. He was summoned all those times.
Good pitching coach mannerisms out there. Yeah,
he kept it brief.
Big lick trot right there.
I was asking Jamie Quirk, the Astros bullpen coach, about Brad Arnsberg. Was he the type of pitching coach who was technical and focused a lot on delivery? He said, well, I don't think that much. I think it was mostly about, this is how you get this guy out.
Yeah, Arnie was basically a scout. I mean, he would say that. He just broke down so much video. I mean, I'm sure he got into the finer points of pitching too, but that was his forte. Or his fort.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's the correct pronunciation of that word. We've been corrected many times over the years. But if you pronounce
that, it was Ken Hoffman in the column. He picked up on the fact that I said forte, and because it's from French, right? F-O-R-T-E, fort.
Correct.
His strength. So your fort.
But that's one of those. If you pronounce it correctly, people are going to question you on that too. What's he talking about?
And they think you're a snob. Well, he thinks he knows. He thinks he knows more than we do. He's saying fort.
2-1. Well, you could just do what I did after I got one of those letters about 8 or 9 years ago. Just quit using the word.
No, I like it.
I
like it.
Okay. All right.
I like the column. I thought it was good. And I like the Bud Collins, and I like the guys that can really master the language. But anyway, where was I going? Oh, Arnie. Arnie's fort.
Yes.
Was breaking down the video of the opposing hitters and being able to tell this guy, look, start him with a breaking ball, finish him hard in, whatever it was. I mean, he really stayed on that stuff.
So you're trying to think about what could be different now for these pitchers with the change in pitching coaches. Well, for one thing, another conference here with a 2-1 count. Now, we've seen a lot of trips to the mound, of course, by catchers this year. That's nothing new.
Well, and you've got relatively inexperienced catchers with Q banged up.
Two and two.
And that's the other thing. You can do all the breakdown, all the analysis you want, and come up with a game plan, but you also have to have a pitcher and catcher who are capable of implementing it.
Wood strikes out. In the third inning, the Pirates add to their lead at strikeout number 5 as they pick up a run on 2 hits and strand a man to lead it 2-0.
by your local Texas Ford dealer, by AT&T, and by Sonic. The action moves to the bottom of the third. Astros down by 2. Top of the order. Top of the booth, Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies.
Thank you, Greg Lucas. It is Michael Bourne leading it off here in the home third inning with Overbay in on the grass at first base. Brandon Wood also in tight at third. Michael shoots one foul for strike one. He grounded out to second in the first inning. Robinson Cancel cleared waivers today. He's been outrighted to AAA Oklahoma City. In tight, almost hit him. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Fernando Abad on his way here. There's a day game tomorrow at 1:05. So when he arrives, the Astros will have a second lefty in the bullpen. Two balls, 1 strike for Charlie Morton on Michael Bourne, to be followed by Keppinger and Pence. This afternoon it was Cincinnati 7, Los Angeles 2. Travis Wood beating Sean Billingsley. Grounder diving, but out of his glove. Wood will not have the play on Michael Bourne. Infield hit for Bourne. It's the 18th infield hit for Michael. He came into this game tied for second in the majors in infield hits. Once an infielder lays out for it and the ball gets away from him, it's going to be a hit for Michael.
Well, maybe steal a bag here.
Go to first base. Bourne, of course, is leading everybody in stolen bases to this point. 26 leads the majors. 27, 3 more than Jacoby Ellsbury. Chop foul for strike one. He's only been caught 3 times. One of those was on a pitcher's throw to first base. Another one was on a pitch out. So of those 3, he's only been caught 1 time in the legitimate way, you might say, by a pitch being thrown and a catcher gunning him down. He has beaten a few pitch outs though in his career. Not that it couldn't be done, but a play like that should be executed.
Base runner 6 for 6 against Charlie Morton.
Only catcher to really got him out this year. Tony Cruz of St. Louis earlier on this homestand with Lance Lynn the starting pitcher.
Perhaps you were wondering, how's Fernando Abad doing down at AAA?
Yeah. How is he doing?
Doing pretty good.
Okay.
3.55 ERA in 11 games. 16 strikeouts in 12 2/3 innings. Only 1 walk. Only 1 home run.
Line shot into left field for Keppinger. Now Bourne. And Keppinger puts singles back to back. And they are aboard for Hunter Pence. And we're going to go to Patty Smith.
Well, this Father's Day, give Dad the gift of time together for an Astros game at Minute Maid Park. With the Astros Dad's deal, you get tickets to at nearly 50% off any game of your choice against the Red Sox, Rangers, or Rays, and free parking for every 4 tickets you buy. For tickets, visit astros.com/dad. Guys?
Patty, when would you say Father's Day will be?
Well, I would say, not that it's my choice, it'll be on Sunday.
Sunday.
Can we just celebrate it whenever we want to?
You guys pretty much do. It's usually Father's Day.
Every day, pretty much.
Every day is Father's Day.
Yeah, you got that right.
When is it going to be Kids Day?
Well, that one is true. Every day is Kids Day, especially summer.
Hunter Pence fouls it there, strike one. He looped a single to center field in the first inning. Hunter is hitting .405 with runners in scoring position. Second best batting average in the National League.
A lot of times for a right-handed hitter against a pitcher like Charlie Morton, the battle, it's a race to get the head of the bat out in front of that sinker as it moves in on the hands. Keppinger able to win the race. We'll see how Hunter fares. If he gets it in off the barrel down towards the hands a little bit, that's the double play ground ball he's looking for. If you can get the head out in front of that sinker, that's the line drive that Keppinger delivered. Of course, there's no guarantee he's going to throw one sinker after another. He throws a lot of them. A little breaking ball. And if you're trying to be quick to handle that sinker moving in on you, that's what happens. You become susceptible to the breaking pitch.
Now it's 1-2. Carlos Lee on deck. They're delaying the start of the Milwaukee-Chicago game at Wrigley. Rain. Hunter lays off, and it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Greg told us about that rain in with the Pirates and Astros at the Astrodome. But there was another note on the Astros notes about a game in '92. Heavy rains across the Houston area prompted the Astros to postpone a game because of heavy rains in '92. Guess the fans couldn't make it to the ballpark. And there's a strikeout. Morton gets number 1. Or out number 1. It's Carlos Lee.
Here's that turbo sinker. Diving down from the knees to the ankles.
Hunter Pence out, and now it's Carlos Lee. Carlos singled to left field in the first inning. Sometimes a strikeout can be better than hitting the ball. Brad Wallace on deck.
All kinds of little leaguers just heard that and go, yeah, see, Dad? Get off me the next time I strike out.
Well,
Brownie said it was cool.
It requires a little qualification. It's better than a double play ball. Little leaguers, it's better to hit the ball, though. At the little league level, good things happen when you put the ball in play. The major league level, not so much. That's strike 2.
Outswing. Trying to guess with him and guessed wrong. He's looking for something coming in that he can jerk. And it's a little tumbling split finger pitch. Morton is not a one-trick pony. You talked about that sinker, but he's shown a good breaking ball and now a split finger pitch. He's also featured a cutter.
But El Caballo's not a one-swing horse. 1 ball, 2 strikes. St. Louis is getting blasted at Washington 9-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Danny Espinosa hit his 11th homer. Mike Morse has hit 2 to give him 12. He's having a really nice year.
Nats rallied late yesterday to beat the Cardinals.
True.
Yeah, Morse has gone off here in the last 3 weeks or so.
Sure has. McHenry on his way to the mound to talk it over with Morton. McHenry just came about 3 days ago in a trade with the Red Sox. 51 pitches for Morton, so they're still getting used to each other here as they work in this game tonight. Each club has 4 hits, no errors. Breaking pitch gets him another strikeout. That's number 2. And Lee's still talking with a home plate umpire.
Carlos perhaps felt like he got a piece of that one, or was not sure of the count. I think he's arguing that he got a piece of it.
Must have. Brad Mills talking with Gary Cedarstrom. Swing and a miss. Now Brett Wallace. Wallace walked in the first inning to load the bases.
Well, the Astros first and second, nobody out, then 2 strikeouts. We got an email the other day from a fan who said, why are the Astros so bad in these situations? And where do they rank? And in reality, they've been pretty good this year. They're hitting .256 with runners in scoring position. That's the 4th best average in the National League. Now, in the last few weeks, it hasn't been nearly as good, but overall, they've been okay in these situations. I think that's just the nature of fans. We always think our team is really bad in these situations, and I'm sure people in Cincinnati and St. Louis and Milwaukee and everywhere else in the league, they feel the same way.
It was an outrageously high batting average a few weeks ago with men in scoring position, but yeah, that was abnormally high. It was 277 on May 27th. So down 23. So if you're watching these games on a nightly basis, sure, it hasn't been as good. It has dropped off the last couple of weeks.
League average with runners in scoring position is 248.
Foul ball by Wallace. It's 1-2. There's been a lot of well-pitched games against the Astros recently, leading you to ask perhaps, well, is it the hitters or the pitchers? Not sure we could give a clear-cut answer on that.
Having said all that, they could use a hit right here. Big situation for Brett Wallace to get Hunter and Carlos off the hook after back-to-back strikeouts. Looked like a very promising inning. He's fizzled to one last chance.
Liner into left field. That's a hit. It's a run-scoring hit with Michael Bourne coming in to make it 2-1. A thing of beauty for Brett Wallace, who gets his 21st run batted in. Got it over the third baseman, just over Brandon Wood.
Pick up your teammates. Wanted to tell you that barrel's overrated. And on the barrel, I would have flew out the left.
A hit like that could go a long way. Breaks the scoring ice. Now Chris Johnson, he bounced into a forced play with the bases loaded in the first. As you saw, that 146 batting average this month with runners in scoring position. Very, very low.
What was that, the Astros team batting average?
Yes.
Yeah. So that kind of helps explain what the emailer, his eyes are not deceiving him. They have really struggled in these situations this month.
Correct. Every team goes through stretches like that. And jammed CJ, and he fouled it back for a 1-1 count. That was one of those you could just tell. He started the swing and then realized this ball is going to be on my thumbs.
I get that feeling on the golf course a lot. Halfway through my backswing, and this is not going to work out so well. You could just have that feeling.
True. Bouncer behind third, off the glove of Wood. And now Kempton is going to stay at third. The bases are loaded. Wood was unable to hold it. And Dave Clark did not want to risk Keppinger being thrown out at the plate. It wasn't that long a throw, even with 2 outs.
They're charged to Wood on that ball. And the Bourne ball was a base hit, and I agree with the call, but that was a play he certainly could have made. So he's had a rough inning down there at third. Not an easy play here either. Kind of an in-between hop on the backhand side. Keppinger would have been dead at home plate had Dave Clark tried to send him, so he made the right decision there.
First error by Wood.
Ball had a little top spin that provided a little extra juice on that second bounce.
Ray Searage, the pitching coach, talks it over with Morton. Now it's Clint Varmus with the bases loaded, trailing 2-1. He grounded to third earlier. Pirates since May 1st had a .989 fielding percentage. That was second in the majors before tonight. Ground ball, Wood. And out there for the fourth play. Oh, yeah. And it's 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error, 3 men left for the Astros. It's 2-1 Pittsburgh.
He left the bases loaded twice.
Yep.
Your question was how many runs have scored in 2 outs?
Yeah.
Correct. He's given up 46 runs, 15 of those scored by It seems like he's given up a lot of.
Okay, so kids free. Coming out of break. What's the score? 2-1 Pittsburgh, top of the 4th. Okay. And welcome back to Minute Maid Park. 2-1 Pirates in the top of the 4th. And Kids Free All Summer presented by Minute Maid is available for every home game this summer. For every full-price adult ticket you purchase in the outfield or view deck sections, you can get up to 2 free tickets for kids 14 and under. Visit Astros.com for tickets. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Kids free all summer. 2-1 game now. The Pirates lead the Astros. Each club scoring a run in the 3rd. We move to the 4th inning, and it's Mike McHenry leading it off. McHenry singled for his first major league hit in the 2nd inning. He'll be followed by Cedeno and Morton.
Big to get that first one, get a batting average.
Ball 1. What was that stat we got about your batting average compared to your bobblehead's batting average?
It was my bobblehead has as many career home runs, doubles, and triples as I did.
Okay. Didn't know people kept stats on bobbleheads.
I got one for you. You know how in Major League Baseball we're into round numbers. Hitting 30 bombs is so much better than hitting 29. Batting 300 so much better than hitting 299. That book I've been wearing you out with lately, that scorecasting book.
Scorecasting, yeah.
Scorecasting points out that never in the long history of record keeping in baseball has a player with a 299 batting average walked in his final at bat of the season. Never.
Good stuff. Out to second. Keppinger gets a 2-hopper. Goes out McHenry. 1 out. Time for a look at our Brown Hand Center great hands of the game. And it's Ronnie Cedeno at shortstop.
Thievery on a line drive off the bat of J.R. Tolles, little sinking liner. Sticking with it, making a nice play for his pitcher.
Tough luck for J.R. Now Cedeno's batting and taking strike 1. So maybe J.R. will rob him. Don't see that too often, do you?
Well, maybe you could throw him out trying to steal at some point.
That could be. No balls, 2 strikes. Well, he can make a diving catch on a pop foul or a great play on a little roller or a bunt or something like that. Pitcher Charlie Morton's on deck. It's Cleveland 5, Detroit 4 in the 5th. 1-2. Brendan Bosch hit his 9th home run for the Tigers. in the hole. Armas off balance throw to first base. Safe. Cedeno went in head first. Didn't really need to. But he got a hit.
No, he didn't. You know, the only justification for the head first slide there would have been, and I don't know that he's smart enough to contemplate all this. So the guy's making a play in the hole. The throw might be up the line. Maybe there's a potential tag play, so I'm going to leave my feet. But this really slows him down. He would have been way safe had he just run through the bag.
Yes, he would have. And he wouldn't have risked injury to his hand or wrist. But he seems to be all right. And here's the pitcher, Morton, now. Bunting and fouling at strike one.
Well, here's JR's chance at retribution. He can pounce on this bunt and throw Cedeno out at second.
That's right. And you know he's got to be thinking along those lines here.
This is one where you can really defend aggressively if you're CJ down there at third, because Morton, with that 0.38 average, doesn't swing it particularly well, so you're not worried about him drawing the bat back and smoking one by you.
Bunted off the screen again. 0-2. Morton has 3 sacrifice bunts. Nick Leyva is the third base coach. Luis Silverio over at first. Hey, Jeff Bannister's back in his hometown. He's the bench coach for the Pirates. Having a good time with his family this week. He was going to swing, but it was way up 1-2. Jeff Bannister said he remembers going to the Astrodome and going down to the bullpen when Nolan Ryan was warming up. He just wanted to be as close to Nolan Ryan as he could possibly get.
You could hear that ball cutting through the air and then slamming into the catcher's mitt, into Suba's mitt.
Little bunt, and no, he looked at second and threw to first.
Discretion being the better part of valor.
2 outs. From 2 to 4, that sacrifice. Getting Cedeno to second, and it's Tabata.
You just have to be sure. If you're going to take that shot at the lead man, you have to be sure. JR was not, so he took the sure out at first base. He's already 1 out in the inning. You don't want to set up a potential big inning by not getting it out on the bunt play when they're giving themselves up.
No, sir. Jeff. Now it's Tabata batting, and he's 0 for 2. Jeff Bannister was talking about he found out how to sneak into the Astrodome. His ball.
Oh, yeah?
Loading dock. That was the best way to.
Where the players used to enter.
Yeah, that was the best way to sneak into the Astrodome.
So he put on a uniform like he was making a delivery or something?
No, he just got into a lot of games.
Slipped by Mr. Hardy there at the desk?
Yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Walked in backwards and said he was leaving?
Maybe he said he was delivering Derek Bell's order of fried chicken. That could have been it. But he said he loved going down to the bullpen. Not only that sound you talked about, but Nolan grunting as he threw the baseball.
Yeah.
He just wanted to hear all that noise in the bullpen.
It's kind of like watching Hunter Pence take BP now.
Yeah.
Guttural explosion with every swing.
Strikeout looking. Tabata is rung up. Strikeout number 6 for half. No runs, a hit. Runner stranded. 2-1 Pittsburgh.
fan of the game right here, Greg Davis. Greg was able to throw out the first pitch today, and we have to talk a little bit about that. But first, you got to tell us how you got to do that, which I think is a very cool story.
It would be a lot cooler if I was famous, but an even better cause. I purchased the ceremonial first pitch at a charity gala benefiting the Children's Fund, which is a great cause. Mr. McLean's behind it in a big way, and it does a lot of good things for children in need in Houston.
So here he is, Greg Davis, doing a good deed, donating money, and he's got like 3 guys that he works with that are sitting about 4 rows up here, and they've done nothing but harass this poor guy. They came up to me pregame and told me to get inside his head because they wanted to see him throw in the dirt, and here's your pitch. Take us through what happened.
Well, I'll tell you, I was not factoring actually getting on the rubber into my pregame exercises, and so I actually mounted the rubber, and unfortunately I threw the old 47-footer right into the dirt. I got a clean 1 hop to the catcher. He got it right in the chest, but yes, my friends are out. It's shameless, actually. They were out here harassing me all day long since like 4 o'clock, so I really had no chance, but I gave it my best shot, and I guess I'll have to do it again next year to make up for the mistake.
Well, you handled it gracefully. I loved your bow, and for your efforts, you are a progressive fan of the game. Thank you so much. I think you did a great job, and those guys are just down there jealous and eating their hearts out.
They are jealous. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and again, it was a good cause.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.
He's living with all that pressure for another year, Patty. 3 balls and a strike.
Have to pony up next year.
JR goes down on another foul
yeah,
ball.
that is just so frustrating. He's been beating himself up, and not to mention the foul balls that he's been getting while catching lately. He just smoked that one. I thought he got hit by this inside pitch. I thought maybe he hit his elbow. I mean, just got out of harm's way there. And there are foul balls off the feet, and then there are foul balls off the feet that have a little bit more on them. And that is just a rocket line drive shin burger. And you see the frustration. Oh, my goodness.
Rex Jones went out. Now JR is ready to go again. Pain or no pain.
Yeah. So this is how you want to make a living.
Ooh. Tough enough, just the injuries that a catcher gets.
Oh my, almost got another one. He does. He hits the ball off his legs and feet more than any other hitter I've seen in a long time. Just the nature of his swing. A pull hitter. Gets out in front of that ball.
Do you think there are guys who play Major League Baseball who are actually afraid of the baseball?
I think most of them are. I think that element of fear is always there in the back of a hitter's mind. Has to be.
It hurts.
Well, and if it's up around the head, it's life changing. Could be life altering. So there's always that element of fear. And it's in the back of the mind. There are certain nights where it moves to the front of the mind, depending on who's on the mound, if he's wild, how hard he throws. I guarantee you there were a lot of hitters when Nolan Ryan was scheduled to pitch that crossed their mind time and time again throughout the day. Quote I often use is the old Oscar Gamble when pulling up to the stadium in Anaheim and seeing Nolan's name on the marquee, pitching today, Nolan Ryan, and Oscar would say, well, 0 for 4, don't get hit in the head. It's a good day today.
There's a walk for J.R. Tolles leading off the inning.
It's not a walk, it's a limp.
That's the second walk for Morton. And it means Jay Happ has a runner at first, nobody out, and a sacrifice situation. He grounded out in the second inning. Jay has 1 sacrifice. Michael Bourne's on deck.
Well, this interesting situation here. The bunt's in order, but how well will JR be able to run to second base?
Yeah.
We're about to find out.
That's ball 1. The Astros have scored 8 runs against the Pirates in 4 games. .218 batting average in those 4. And the Pirates have won 3 of 4. Pirates won 3 in a row, in fact, from Houston this year. After the Astros did a number on Pittsburgh last year. That bunt goes foul. The Astros won the season series 11-4 from the Pirates a year ago and won all 9 games here at Minute Maid Park.
JR getting a little running in here on these bunt attempts. He'll shake some of the pain out of that shin.
Until Jeff Karstens got the win last night, Paul Maholm had been the only Pittsburgh starting pitcher with a win at Minute Maid Park since August of '07 when Matt Morris won a game. Happ missed it, and it's 1-2. Marlins 4, Phillies 2. They're in the top of the 8th at Philadelphia. Gabby Sanchez hit his 12th for Florida.
The situation here, I think you keep the bunt on. Even with 2 strikes, you're fearful of a ground ball double play with Morton and all those sinkers.
Bunted well. Overbay with the throw to Walker. The sacrifice, the second of the year for Happ, gets Toles to second, 1 out.
That's why they give you 3.
That one was perfectly placed. Jay gets the runner over. Now Michael Bourne will try to drive him home. Michael reached on an infield hit in the 3rd and scored on the single by Brett Wallace. He's 1 for 2. Each club with 5 hits in this game. Yankees lead Texas 7-4. They're in the bottom of the 6th at Yankee Stadium. Mark Teixeira belted home run number 20. Liner over shortstop into left field. J.R. Toles coming to the plate. The throw. And he slides and he's safe. Tying the game 2-2 on a very close play. Throw from Tabata was accurate to McHenry. And Bourne winds up at second with the RBI single, driving in his 22nd of the year. And Toles made that trip around second base in time.
Michael just serves this ball in the left field. Little soft floating line drive in front of Tabata. Here's the play at the plate. Wow, was that close? Really close. Good call. McHenry had to lean in a little bit to catch that throw, and that opened up the home plate for JR.
Jeff Keppinger now tries to give Houston the lead. He singled to left in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2. There goes Michael. Throw to 3rd. Safe. Stolen base number 28 for the major league leader, Michael Bourne.
Well, whatever he took from the doctor to get healthy, it's a good thing he did. 2 knocks, runs scored, 1 driven in. Not even close.
Monday night he stole his 200th. Now he beats that throw to Wood, and that brings the infield in. Bourne is 9th on the Astros all-time franchise stolen base list. He now had 182.
A situation just like this is why you love Jeff Keppinger in the 2-hole. Michael Bourne on 3rd base. Keppinger swings and misses rarely. Count on him to put the ball in play. One of the toughest guys to strike out in baseball. Not to say he's always going to get that run home from 3rd, but you can count on contact. And with Bourne's speed, it doesn't take much more than contact to get him home.
Good play there by McHenry. Keppinger's batting average with runners in scoring position is 176. That's 17 at bats with only 1 strikeout. Hunter Pence on deck. And it's up, but it's 3-1. Pirates are only 4 games out of first in the NL Central with their 33-33 record coming into play today. Line shot, and it's caught by Cedeno. Tough luck for Keppinger. He scorched one. 2 outs.
Yeah, and that's the other part of the equation when we talk about these different statistics, runners in scoring position, batting average. Well, that's an offer right there for Keppinger, but what more can you do?
Worked it to a 3-1 count. He hit it very hard.
Hit a rocket. And guy made a play on it.
Now the infielder's back up, and it's Hunter Pence. He singled to center and struck out. All one. Michael Bourne came down the line a few steps. Mets lead at Atlanta 3-0 there in the top of the 4th inning. Angel Pagan hit his second home run.
To win tonight, the Mets will be back to 500.
They beat Jair Jurgens last night. 1 ball, 1 strike.
7 of their last 10.
Jose Reyes playing furiously for that club. Hunter Pence, 385 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. 2-1. Milwaukee and St. Louis share 38-30 records, share the lead. Cincinnati down by 2 games. Pittsburgh down by 4. Reds won today.
Reds just swept a 3-game series from the Dodgers in Los Angeles. Dodgers are off tomorrow. The Astros will start a weekend set with them Friday night.
Three-1 coming. Now full count to Hunter.
Didn't have to be. Number 5 there on our Fox tracks. Indicating a little bit inside.
And a strikeout for Morton. But the Astros played a run on 1 hit. They strand a runner at third. They tie it 2-2. A tough night for J.R. Tolles at the plate. Charlie Morton throws one up and in. He hits the deck. Gets right up on the next pitch. Bangs one off his left shin. The Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light. Then he worked a walk and came around to score the tying run on a single by Michael Bourne from second base. Now with the shin guards on.
Shin guards will help compress that lump that's growing on his lower leg.
The tools of ignorance. Here's the 5th inning, and Matt Diaz leads it off. He struck out looking, and he's doubled to left and scored a run. He cranks that one foul. There's strike one. Diaz, the type of player who is usually used in situations like this, starting against a lefty, and then he pinch hits. Last year he was with Atlanta. He hit .250 with 7 homers, 31 runs batted in, and 224 at bats. He started in Pittsburgh against Happ and went 2 for 3 May 8th.
He lights that ball up.
Yes, he does.
Double in the 3rd inning was on a pitch about shoulder high.
Diaz went to Florida State, played on 2 College World Series teams. He's from Portland, Oregon. Started his career in the Tampa Bay organization.
College World Series starts this weekend.
That should be fun. The field they have this year.
George W. Bush is throwing out the first pitch.
That'd be nice. In a brand new stadium at Omaha.
Somewhere in middle America. Aggies, Horns, UVA, Vanderbilt, South Carolina.
Yes.
What else is in there? How many are there? 8?
Not sure.
6?
Yeah. 8, I think. We'll have to see if we can get the list somewhere.
Well, we're going to get it right here.
St. Louis was shut out at Washington tonight, 10-0 by Livan Hernandez.
The ageless one.
Yeah. He's 4-8. He beat Kyle McClellan, who came back from an injury. And McClellan is 6-3. Four home runs by the Nationals. Espinosa, 2 by Morse, and Worth at his 9th. The Cardinals are now 38-31, and their loss gives Milwaukee a chance to take over the lead. They're still waiting out a rain delay in Chicago. Have not been able to start that game.
Cubs won the first 2 games of that series in dramatic fashion. Let's see, Texas, North Carolina, Vanderbilt. Texas plays Florida. Cal plays Virginia. South Carolina plays the Aggies.
Fly ball out to right center field. Hunter Pence cuts across. Michael Bourne watches him make the catch.
Again, a pitch way up. Diaz can't lay off. That Cal team's an interesting story. They're almost extinct. That program had been scheduled for elimination.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. What happened?
Some lawyer who was a big benefactor pledged a bunch of money and recruited. I think Jeff Blum. I think wrote him a big check, and Jeff Kent, former Cal player, stepped up.
McCutchen grounds foul. There's strike one to him. With Cincinnati's win today at Los Angeles, the Reds are 4 games over 500 now. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Their pitching has tightened things up recently.
So now Milwaukee and Pittsburgh 4 games apart, and then 2 other clubs in that space. Chicago's 10 behind. Houston is 13 games back. 2 distinctly different tiers in the NL Central right now. 2 balls and a strike. Tampa Bay was shut out by Josh Beckett, and Boston 3-0.
A 1-hitter for Beckett. Last night we were discussing who's the best pitcher in the American League this year, and Beckett certainly was on our short list, and boy, he proved it tonight.
1.86 is his ERA right now. He's 6-2. Jerk to the left field corner. McCutchen really hammered that one. It kicks back towards center field. McCutchen might want third. He is going to hold on at second base. That's a 14-game hitting streak, the longest of McCutchen's career, when he gets his 15th double of the year.
A ball really hammered into the left field corner, and depending on the carom you get out there, if it's a friendly one for Carlos, he can hold a lot of base runners to a single. He wasn't going to hold McCutchen to a single, but for a moment there it looked like perhaps 3 bases. This funky bounce it takes off the scoreboard. This guy can motor, boy.
Oh, yeah. He's sleek.
He's on my 4x100 National League relay team. He and Michael and a kid from the Cubs, Campana. We got to put him on there.
Campana, yeah. Walker looks at ball 1. Walker's 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in.
Well, who our 4th guy would be. Probably wouldn't need one with those 3. You could run the anchor, Browning, still win by a wide margin.
Now the conference. Walker tripled to the right field corner. He singled to left center field off Happ.
Got a change up last time. It wasn't a particularly good one.
2-0.
The swing from the right side does not look polished, for lack of a better word, but it certainly has been effective tonight.
You know who might be on your relay team is Jason Bourgeois.
Mm-hmm.
3-0. Bourgeois, by the way, was in the Astros' original starting lineup, but Brad Mills warned everybody about 4 o'clock. Pretty good chance Michael Bourne's going to be starting because he's on his way to the ballpark and he's feeling a lot better after seeing the doctor. Now here's the 4th ball in intentional fashion. Walker will move along the line to first base, and it's Overbay batting. 3rd walk of the night for Happ. Overbay struck out and he walked on 4 pitches. With that Beckett win for Boston 3-0 at Tampa Bay, the loser was Jeremy Hellickson. He's 7-5. His ERA 3.09. Kevin Youkilis hit home run number 10.
Hellickson pitched well as also. Can't say well as well, can you?
You can.
7 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs.
You can say anything you want to, JD. It's sports. Although the English teachers are out for the summer. Now Overbay with 2 on and 1 out. All the way, strike 1.
The Angels have released Scott Kazmir.
Heard about that
from Houston.
You see anything happening?
They gave him an unconditional release. In so doing, swallowed $14.5 million that they still owe him.
Well, you'd have to be a python to swallow that much. Wow. But he's now available for the minimum, presumably. Somebody will give him a shot, won't they? Well, they hit Keppinger. Ball came up on him. He dropped it, got the out at first. He wanted a double play, but settles for that 4-3 play on Overbay with McCutchen going to 3rd and Walker to 2nd.
Perhaps Walker running by created a little bit of a distraction for Kep.
Maybe so. That means Wood bats. Wood is 0 for 2. It's always great for a pitcher when that intentional walk is followed by a double play ball. That one came up though on Keppinger. Fell right into the booth over Astros radio guy.
Brett Dolan made a big catch.
Brett Dolan, he's caught him before on the road. he can catch him in every ballpark. And he caught it there.
He's got his glove up there, but he didn't have it. He made the barehanded play.
No time.
What's he doing with the glove if he's not going to use it?
No idea. No balls, 2 strikes. He does not need a glove. He's one of the best glove men in any radio booth in the country right now. He's going to win the Broadcaster's Gold Glove Award. Brett Dolan, big time range to his left.
Holy Toledo, what a play.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I was not even in there.
That'll make the post-game highlights. Fortunately, there is a doctor in the ballpark, so Brett can get some immediate attention. Put a blue star on that one, JD.
Yeah.
1-2 on Wood. Meanwhile, there is a game.
Yeah, we do get a little caught up in things up here, don't we?
2-2.
Jay's got 2nd and 3rd. Tie ball game. And
he has no
we're
idea.
Just falling all over ourselves about Dolan's play down there.
Yeah. Well, we don't get exciting things like that up here very often. Got to be at just the right angle to make it up here in the booth. Fouled away.
Pitch. With a pop up to the catcher and a strikeout so far today. Jay up over 100 pitches now.
Yeah.
102 pitches as he works in the fifth.
Tolles has been going out quite a bit.
Boy, they sure have had a lot of meetings, and that's the, when you're not playing winning baseball, when you're losing, and you just nothing comes easy, and you're playing all these tight games.
Game slows down.
Lots of conversations. Not easy on the managers. The old adage was it's the players' first 6 innings, and the manager in the 7th inning will take over the game. But when you're not scoring runs, we've already seen examples of it with the intentional walks early and things of that nature.
That pitch way off the mark after the mound visit. It's 3-2 now.
Well, this is where they rely on those scouting reports. What does this guy do? Is he likely to chase on 3-2? Is he willing to take a walk? Most guys like to swing the bat in this situation. They got a chance to drive in 2 runs and be a hero.
He walked him, and McHenry comes up. 4th walk for Happ.
Not a bad idea for Happ to go up with a fastball. He gets a lot of swings and misses up there, but that one's just not close enough to entice Wood.
Now Brocale goes out. When Doug was pitching, he threw a lot of strikes.
Yeah, I liked his comments yesterday when they asked him about the mound visit and what he would bring to the table. He said, well, I was such an excitable guy. Pitching coaches usually came out just to calm me down, so that's kind of where I'm going to start.
He does not stay out there a long time.
He was a tough-minded competitor, boy.
If somebody needed to be moved off the plate, he could take care of that.
I had more than one person when I told them Doug Brocale was the Astros' new pitching coach say, well, the boys better have their helmets on.
And Ario Del Rosario starts warming up. Now McHenry 1 for 2 with the bases loaded. Strike 1.
13 surgeries Doug Brocale endured during his career. I'm not sure if that includes the heart or not, but he had that heart problem as well.
He sure did. Yeah, his life was in danger in one of those procedures.
Good pitch.
4 strike 2.
Don't let him off the hook. Bang, right at the knees.
One and 2 to McHenry. McCutchen had a 1-out double. Walker was walked intentionally, and with 2 outs, Wood drew a free pass. Each club with 6 hits. With Happ walking 4, the Pirates have had a lot of traffic. They've had men on in every inning.
They just cannot get together on the signs here.
Pirates are 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Oh, he got him to go for one way out of the strike zone, struck him out. No runs, 1 hit, 3 men left. Strikeout number 7 ends it in the Pirates' 5th for Jay Happ to keep the game tied 2-2.
Once you get it right.
Carlos Lee takes ball one. Daniel McCutcheon warming up for the Pirates. 2-2 ball game. Jay Happ's thrown 106 pitches so far. Lee is 1 for 2. Pops it up, and the fans will receive this foul pop. Oh! It bounced high. 1-1.
I'll give you a clue. The game was at Shea Stadium between the Mets and the Pirates.
All right. Mets and the Pirates.
Willie Stargell.
No. But he was a Pirate.
Okay. Phil Garner.
That is incorrect.
Clemente.
No. He's the backstory.
Oh.
2-2.
The backstory is the job was offered to him, but the money wasn't enough. So he didn't do it.
Okay.
Carlos not happy with that call, and somebody from the Astros dugout giving it to Gary Cederstrom as well.
McCutcheon comes racing in center and made up for a couple of missteps with a sliding catch. 1 out. He didn't get coming in toward the infield for a while.
Misread you see all the time for a center fielder, especially when it's a power hitter, the big swing. The first reaction is to go back a step or so, and that's what happened. But McCutcheon, with the speed to make up for it, ends up making a nice play.
Now Brett Wallace, he drove in the first run after walking. He singled. Right.
If you set the over-under for all-star games made in a career at 10 for McCutcheon, I might take the over. I know that's a big number, but he's a really good player.
Wallace into right field. And he's been on base now all 3 times tonight, and in 8 of his last 9 plate appearances.
Again, not necessarily squaring one up, but he's so strong. He fought one off the left, and now this one got in on him as well. He just muscles it into right.
At number 7 for the Astros, Chris Johnson, the batter.
Need some furniture moved? Brett Wallace is your guy.
Slowly hit Wood. Going to second. Gets the force play there, and that's it.
All right. Give you one last chance. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
When was this movie? When did this movie came out in the 70s,
Late
correct?
60s, early 70s.
It would have been post Kiner, correct? Kiner would have been, he would have been doing Mets TV then.
Bill Mazeroski.
All right, Brownie.
It was really Boots.
Well, that was correct. He hit into the triple play. Oscar Madison missed it because Felix had called him asking him what he wanted for dinner.
How quickly we forget.
And
Walter Matthau.
Clemente had been offered the role first because he was by far the more famous player. But because he was the more famous player, he wanted more money than the producers had in the budget, and Mazeroski accepted.
Okay.
So I didn't realize that the player were even part of the episode. Just their name was mentioned, but they actually were in the show.
No, you actually saw the ball hit to third and around 5-4 to 3.
Oh, okay. Clint Barmas will be looking at the second pitch here. J.R. Tolles on deck. It's in the dirt. Pretty good stop by McHenry. 1-1 to Barmas, who's grounded out twice. The Astros have left the bases loaded twice.
Yeah, both teams have had opportunities and have not been able to cash in. There's only been 1, 2-3 half inning in the ball game.
Yeah, the Astros second. You're right. Throw goes over on CJ with 2 outs. Phillies are batting in the bottom of the 9th, trailing the Marlins 4-2. There's a delay in Atlanta with the Mets leading the Braves 3-0, bottom of the 4th inning. And tight on Barmas. It's 2-1 to Clint. Now they are starting in Chicago after a long rain delay. Milwaukee batting in the top of the first against Carlos Zambrano. A lot of National League teams will be using the DH soon. Going on the road to play American League clubs. There's one item about the Milwaukee club that Matt Gamble might be coming up from the minor leagues to give an extra hitter to Ron Renicky. Those are the numbers on Charlie Morton. It's Chris Narveson going for the Brewers tonight against Carlos Zambrano in Chicago. Pirates might call up a young outfielder, according to some rumors. Alex Presley is playing very well for them at AAA Indianapolis. They'll be in Cleveland this weekend, needing a DH. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Chris Johnson ready to roll at first. Overbay backs up to play behind him. That's yanked foul by Barnes.
Yeah, that's the thing. If Morton makes his pitch with the two-seamer sinking, running in on a right-handed hitter, even if you're looking for it, if he makes his pitch, it's hard to do a lot with it.
It is. Foul ball is sometimes about it. This will be number 100. Another foul ball right over Dave Clark's head. Giants have scored a run in the top of the first at Arizona. Now Madison Bumgarner is pitching in the bottom half. Now the century mark for Charlie Morton, 61 strikes. Shooting for win number 7. That's to left center field. Going back Tabata, way back toward the bullpen, and that one is off the wall. Chris Johnson home with run number 3, and the Astros have the lead on an RBI double by Barmes. 9th run batted in for Clint. That's his 8th two-base hit.
Two-out action for the Astros as well. Morton kept throwing those balls in on Barmes and finally left one out over the plate and up.
Hit that very near the 362 sign. Now Ray Searage comes out. Astros have grabbed the lead, and it's J.R. Tolles. Tolles and Dave Clark talk it over with Barmes at second base. 2 outs in the inning. JR walked and scored in the 4th inning after lining to short in the 2nd. Toronto beat Baltimore 4-1. Ricky Romero going to 6-6, beating Jake Arrieta. He's 8-4. Tied for ball 1. Matt Downs is in the on-deck circle, and Jay Happ's thrown over 100 pitches. So the Astros are ready to pinch hit. They've had Del Rosario warming up. 2 balls and no strikes.
All right, JR, go ahead. Cheat on one.
2-1. Grounded foul, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Talk about the Pirates pitching being much improved. Before them, the Braves were here, and Braves playing a lot of low-scoring games. Same thing can be said of the Buccos, with better pitching but not a lot of offense. And early, last week, scoring the majors was down to 8.4 runs per game. That was the lowest figure since '92. So a lot of scoring is off this year in the major leagues. Pitching has been really good. And the majors are on a record pace for extra inning games this year as well. Fouled, out of play.
A story in, I believe it was Sports Illustrated, trying to identify the reasons why pitching is improving and runs are down, and they talk a lot about the cut fastball. I think so many pitchers now are throwing the cut fastball, and the hitters really haven't been able to solve that pitch.
Yeah, and their point was that that's an easier pitch to command than the slider for some.
Continues to take shots at his own leg.
Oh boy. No more. JR was on TV early this morning along with Brad Mills and Mark Melanson on the Today Show.
Oh yeah, how'd that go?
It went very
Did
well.
you watch it?
No, but I heard from somebody who did. It's the 10th year of the Lend a Hand series, traveling the country to shine light on 5 exceptional charities and surprise them with truckloads of donations. So Brad Mills, Mark Melanson, and J.R. Tolles were at Casa de Esperanza this morning to donate $5,000 and 1,000 tickets to a future game. They also helped unload trucks. Loop to shallow right field and caught on the run. Diaz is there for out number 3. It's 1 run scoring for the Astros on 2 hits and a man left. It's 3-2 Houston.
By Southwest Airlines new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats, and no blackout dates. By Jack in the Box, where you can get anything on the menu any time of day. And by Gullo Automotive, treating you like family. Astros have a new pitcher. Bill Brown will tell you about that and any other changes.
In fact, there are 2 changes. There is Angel Sanchez at third base. He's batting 9th, so he will lead off the bottom of the inning. Coming in a double switch, Chris Johnson leaving. He was in the 6th spot. He was 0 for 3, scored a run. And this call to the bullpen is presented by Verizon Wireless, getting Anario Del Rosario in relief of J. Happ, who in 5 innings allowed 6 hits, 2 runs. Walking 4, fanning 7, and he's in line for a win.
Well, it's not a win you count on getting when you've got a 1-run lead after 5, but you sure would love to get it. Wins have been hard to come by for Jay this year. So it's up to the bullpen to hold the line. Del Rosario works for the 29th time. He's got no wins or losses and a 4.20 ERA. He's a ground ball pitcher, so does not strike out many. Worked the 3rd of an inning last night, walked a man. One of the 10 pitchers to work in that affair.
Ronnie Cedeno showing bunt, takes a strike. Cedeno reached on a ball hit to shortstop in the 4th inning. He is 1 for 2. Sanchez stays even with a base at 3rd. Xavier Paul is out to the on-deck circle with a pitcher spot coming up next. It's 0-2.
Talking in the pregame show about memorable games. I remember a game I pitched in San Diego. I went 5 innings, came out with a 1-run lead. Senor Smoke came in and went 4 scoreless to preserve the win.
Nice.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Don't get too many 4-inning saves, do you?
Just don't count on that happening.
Not really.
You leave the game after 5 with a 1-run lead.
Red Wallace tossing to Del Rosario, 1 out. Do you do anything for him? Take him out to dinner?
I can pitch, my friend. That was Lope's line.
Yeah.
He was struggling there towards the end. No, I can pitch.
Always nice to be reassured in that fashion.
He was a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
Passed away, got killed in a car accident a few years ago.
He did.
He was the mayor in his hometown, right?
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I believe he had become mayor.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun to be around. Now Xavier Paul, the pinch hitter for Charlie Morton, brings a left-handed bat for Clint Hurdle into this situation. 259. No homers, 6 runs batted in for Paul. He played last night. And in that game, he drew a walk in the 9th inning. Morton in 5 innings allowed the Astros 8 hits, 3 runs. He walked 2 and struck out 3. Paul has been a good part off the bench for Clint Hurdle. He plays well defensively and brings that left-handed bat up as a pinch hitter from time to time. He's hitting .303 in his first 13 games this month. He takes a strike and it's 0-2 from Anario Del Rosario. Del Rosario had 13 consecutive scoreless appearances and then 3 in a row in which he gave up runs. And then last night, 1/3 of an inning, he did not give up a hit or a run, had a walk.
And at least 2 of those outings where he gave up runs was in his 2nd inning of work. We'll see how Brad uses him going forward. Would you like to have a guy or 2 out there you can count on for more than 1 inning? Right-hander Daniel McCutchen gets ready for the Pirates.
That's line to left field and may shoot the gap. It does. It goes all the way. And that's extra bases for Paul, who hustles into second for a pinch double. Bang that one to the 362 mark.
The lesson has been reinforced here tonight. High sinker balls don't work. Guys that throw the sinker when they elevate, they run into trouble. Saw it with Morton, and now you're seeing it with EDR. Up around the belt, flattens out on him. And Paul able to square it up. Now Jay Happ nervously watches as the tying run is in scoring position.
You know what? Pirates love things that don't sink. There's strike 1 to Tabata. He's 0 for 3. Seven hits for Pittsburgh, 8 for Houston. Each club has left 8 to this point. Time call. Another trip to the mound.
I think we're out of timeouts. I think we're over our limit.
Wow. You think this might be a new single game high for the Astros this season for trips to the mound? Wonder if we'll ask Brad Mills tomorrow. You try to do anything about that? Do you like it? Do you think it's?
Well, I'm intrigued because this isn't just JR and the pitcher. This is the infielders and perhaps going over what they're using with man on second base for an indicator so they know the pitch.
I think generally, JD, and you probably would agree with this, players really don't care about time of game. It just does not phase them in any way, how long the game is taking or delays or anything like that. They're concentrating on what they're doing.
Right, unless it's just, I mean, for position players with a pitcher that works very slowly, that is an issue. Pace of play is an issue. Time of play, how long it takes to play the game doesn't really affect them, but pace of play can. You like to be in a flow.
Liner to left. Carlos Lee, stop sign at third. He throws in, and it's 1st and 3rd. Nick Leyva halted Paul. Looked like the Pirates might have been able to get him home, but 1 out in the inning.
It looked to me like Paul was going to try to score despite the stop sign, but he almost had a flat tire. It started to go down and then scrambled back to the base. This ball had a lot on it. And for that reason, Leyva threw up the stop sign. But Paul looked to me like he was inclined to run through that stop sign. And see, then he starts to go down.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yes, he did. Now we get a pinch hitter, Garrett Jones, for Matt Diaz. Here, Clint Hurdle, another left-handed hitter off the bench.
Right, and this is where Fernando Abad joining the club will really help, because this is a situation where you would like to be able to counter with the left-handed reliever. And you got Escalona, you could bring him, but it's only the 6th inning, and he's the only left-handed reliever you've got.
Double play set up for Barmas and Keppinger as Jones bats. Jones was 2 for 4 last night and drove in a run as the starting right fielder against Bud Norris. Into right field, that ties it 3-3. And here's Hunter Pence throwing to third base. Not in time there. Pinch RBI single for Jones, and it's a 3-3 game. Scoring Paul, Tabata first to third.
Well, at least Jay didn't have to sweat it out very long to see whether he was going to get his 4th win or not. And just to finish that point on how you use the bullpen, and people would say, well, wait a minute, this is a big situation in this game. Why not bring the lefty in? Well, because after Jones, the pinch hitter, is McCutchen, the right-hander. So you'd have to come with a right-hander to deal with McCutchen. And then you get into this thing where you're using a different pitcher. You're only in the 6th inning. Right. You can't fire all your bullets this early.
That's true. McCutchen has walked and doubled in 3 trips. Infielders moving in now. With the runner at third, Tabata, it's ball 1. Now that it's side, the Astros really would like to cut off that run.
And McCutchen's so difficult to double. That makes it tougher.
One ball, one strike.
I think the way Barmas is positioned there, sharply hit ball to Barmas. If he feels like can get 2, he's going to go that way.
Wallace with the runner coming home, throws low and wide, and the Pirates take the lead 4-3 as the ball gets by Tolles. Now Jones goes into third base. Like Wallace was back on his heels a little bit for that throw. And the Pirates lead by 1.
Yeah, and that was the problem. The play was to go home there, but he got caught back on his heels and not in a position to make a good throw. He had to hurry the throw. See it here as he slides off the bag. He just gets caught in between hops. And I don't know, EDR may have affected his throw as well. Rosario almost got hit in the head with that. Watching Arias, he's going over to handle a potential play at first base. That's what affected Wallace's throw.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Certainly did. It's an error on Wallace. It is an RBI.
That's a tough error. Influenced by not hitting your teammate in the coconut.
Walker moves back. It's ball 1. Another trip to the mound. Things really coming unraveled here for the Astros.
Brocail is going to come out.
While they talk it over, we look at Jason Hayward returning from the DL tonight for the Braves. Ellsbury red hot for the Red Sox this month. Zimmerman has missed 58 games, and this is a big blow to the Marlins. Josh Johnson now on the 60-day disabled list.
Yeah, so they won't see him till after the All-Star break.
By then, he might not be able to help him a whole lot. Fernando Rodriguez is getting loose for Houston now. Walker has a 1-0 count.
That ground ball to first base as a pitcher is drummed in your head. Cover, cover, cover on a ground ball to the right side. That's where your instincts have to kick in. You have to realize what the first baseman's going to try to do with a man on third in that situation. And hit the deck.
Walker looks at ball 2. It's 2-1 to Neal. Pittsburgh native. And really at the very heart of what the Pirates are doing right now.
Much more dangerous from this side of the plate.
Now Walker's worked the count to 3-1.
He'll be looking to get greedy here. 8 home runs, 7 have come from this side of the plate.
Rolled slowly to first. Jones coming home. The ball is foul. That was a toughie for Wallace.
That's some goofy stuff. Now Clint Hurdle wants to come out and talk about it. He thought the ball was fair. You see a kick off the grass. So Adrian Johnson down there first base, peering in to make the call, and it looked like he got it right. Wow, though, that was awfully close.
It looked foul.
That first look we had, it was, I think, a little better perspective because it was straight down the line.
Yeah, it looked like he touched it on the right side of the foul line. It's not where his body is, it's where he touches it.
Yeah, I think he got the call right.
Close, though. 3-2 now to Walker. McCutchen stretching his lead at first. He takes off. Line drive left field. Carlos Lee over toward the line for the catchers. Jones tagging, coming in to make it 5-3 Pittsburgh on a sac fly by Walker. He's driven in 3 tonight to give him 45 this season.
Well, a nice job of hitting there by Walker with a sinker ball, right-handed sinker baller on the mound. The ball running away from him quite often. That's, you know, if you try to pull that, there's a chance that's going to turn into a double play ball. So he just stayed through it, hit it the other way, and got himself an RBI.
Overbay is 0 for 2 with a walk. McCutchen was running on that last pitch. Now with 2 outs, we'll see what he does. Not going, and it's ball 1. Pirates have scored 3 on 3 hits plus an error in the inning.
Cedeno grounded out to start it, then consecutive hits, double, single, single before the fielder's choice error. The ground ball to Brett Wallace. I believe he's going here at some point.
Strike. Yeah, you'd think so. 1-1. Strange. A lot of room in right center for Overbay. Still not going, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
Maybe a little bit concerned about a pitch out here now, a running count.
Starts and stops this time, and it's ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Astros starting pitchers have 13 wins this year. 11 times they've left the game with a lead, and there's been a blown save. Runner going now, and it's a strike. An easy steal. McCutchen to second base. 13th stolen base of the year. Full count on Overbay. And he struck him out. The Pirates take the lead with 3 6th-inning runs on 3 hits with an error and a man stranded. 5-3 Pittsburgh.
Astros.com. Visit Astros.com and cast your ballot now for your 2011 All-Stars. Vote early and vote often. Vote tonight at Astros.com. Some changes being made out there, Bill.
Yes, there are, Patty. It's one of those nights. Both managers are going to be doing a lot of work. And the Pirates now have claimed the lead, so Xavier Paul stays in after pinch hitting. He is in right field. And the new pitcher is Daniel McCutchen. He's 2-1. His ERA is 2.56. That Pirate bullpen 9-11 with a 3.35 ERA with some good power arms, JD.
McCutchen, fastball, slider, and split finger pitch. Split finger pitch is the one he likes to go to. Strikeout situation, especially with a left-handed hitter. Will average about 90 to 92 with his heater. This one's far from over.
Far from over, my friend.
This has the feel of a full moon.
Oh, yeah.
All night long with the day game tomorrow.
You know that. Angel Sanchez leads it off in the Astros' 6th inning.
Might even take a nap here. Take half inning off.
Shortens up on the bat, taking strike one. Angel has not had a lot of playing time recently. Came in the double switch. He's hitting .253, 1 homer, 19 runs batted in. McCutchen throws wide. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Charlie Morton now could be the winning pitcher after his 5 innings of work, allowing 8 hits, 3 runs, walking 2, fanning 3. Sanchez on appeal to first checked his swing. Adrian Johnson with the safe sign indicating it's a ball. And it's 2-1 now.
Would you be tempted if you were the home plate umpire to yell, "Yo, Adrian," out there to him?
Absolutely. They've got to have that kind of rapport on this crew. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, umpires really do form quite a team. They hang together quite a bit off the field as well as on. And they do a ton of travel. They know each other really well. Ronnie Cedeno charges, throws on the run. Good play to get Sanchez. 1 out.
Angel busting it hard down the line, trying to beat it out, but Cedeno catches him by half a step or so.
The Astros, who had single runs in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th to lead 3-2. Hope to get Michael Bourne on. He's been on twice, 2 singles, an RBI. Run scored, a stolen base. There's ball 1 to Michael. Very productive evening for a guy who started the day by going to the doctor. Showing bunt. He looks at a strike. 1-1. Jeff Keppinger's on deck.
Michael thought that ball was down, a borderline pitch. Could have gone either way.
Foul ball there makes it 1-2. Finale of the homestand tomorrow. That's a 1:05 start. Why not bring the kids out? They're not doing anything.
Jordan Lyles taking the ball for the Astros tomorrow afternoon.
The Astros kid
against right-handed pitcher James McDonald.
Jordan goes for his first major league win.
And in L.A., Brett Myers faces Ted Lilly on Friday. Saturday features Wandy Rodriguez and Ruby De La Rosa. And Bud Norris, Hiroki Kuroda on Sunday.
Whoa! One got plunked by that McCutchen pitch. It came out of his hand in a very strange direction.
He's trying to throw a 2-seamer that would start in and then curl back to the plate.
First hit batsman for McCutchen this year. The second time Michael's been plunked. Keppinger is 1 for 3.
Like kind of a kind hit by pitch. He just got the jersey.
Yeah. Keppinger scorched a line drive shortstop in the 4th inning. This game owes him a hit. Strike to Jeff.
I don't know. I seem to remember a little flare base hit last night. Maybe that was the
okay.
makeup.
Maybe he got it early then. Collect it one day ahead of time.
Hitters don't think that way.
No, they don't.
They're always owed in their minds.
Oh, yeah, they can tell you. Remember 3.5 weeks ago out in L.A.? Not really, but if you say so.
Umpire rang me up on a bad pitch. Hit a rocket. Second baseman robbed me. Can't catch a break.
Hunter Pence on deck.
Yeah, Diaz is really deep in right field. Or Paul, I guess it's Paul out there now.
Yeah. Well, he almost had to track down that errant throw from the catcher, McHenry. Overbay had to stretch way over to foul ground. It's 1-1.
We're seeing the Michael Bourne factor here at work. McCutchen really slowing things down, paying so much attention to Bourne.
Phillies got 2 in the 9th to tie the Marlins 4-4. They're in the 10th now. He's going for a sweep of that doubleheader. Keppinger is 2 for 4, including a homer off McCutchen. McCutchen's appeared twice this year against the Astros. He got a win in Pittsburgh May 8th, even though he gave up a run in 1 inning in that one. High to left field. Tabata puts it away. 2 outs. And it's Hunter Pence batting next. He's 1 for 3. McCutchen, who's 28, is from McKinney, Texas, and went to the University of Oklahoma. Pirates will be in Cleveland this weekend while the Astros are in Los Angeles. Then the Astros move on to Texas before coming back home to meet Tampa Bay and Boston in interleague play on the next homestand. Ball 1 to Pence.
Pretty rugged schedule.
Oh boy. 2 juggernauts from the AL East. And there's the way they stack up. Rangers, Rays, Rangers. Oh, that's right. The Rangers are in before the Red Sox. Red Sox don't get here till July 1st.
That's after the Rangers.
Okay.
Same homestand.
Okay.
So it goes Rangers, Rays, Rangers, Red Sox.
Wow. Pence with a couple of hits off McCutchen. Takes that one. Daniel Moscas, the left-hander, is warming up now for the Buccos.
As for potential confrontation with Brett Wallace, if this inning gets extended.
McCutchen was drafted by the Yankees in the 13th round in 06. Runner goes. Pop foul. Michael Bourne watches it drift back into the seats and heads for first base again. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See this deal in New York? David Einhorn?
Yeah, I was hearing about that today. That's interesting.
He's paying $200 million for a minority stake in the New York Mets. He could gain majority control of the team for $1 more if the Wilpon family does not pay back his $200 million in 3 years.
Ouch. That is a very favorable deal for Mr. Einhorn, considering their debts. Throw to first base.
So for $200 million, he'll purchase 33% of the team to help prop them up with that infusion of cash. And even if the Wilpons pay back the $200 million, he would still retain 1/6 of the team. This is according to
1/6. Okay.
Well, yeah, but if they don't pay it back, that's the real kicker. If they don't pay it back in time for $1 more, he becomes the majority owner of the New York Mets. He would own 60% of the club.
for $200 million with that club. What do you think the market value is of that club?
Well, I don't know, but I mean, does that put Einhorn in a position where he's a part owner of the club and he's hoping that the Wilpons fail? I mean, that's
maybe. Who knows? 2 balls, 2 strikes. Is he a hedge fund guy?
He is.
Ooh. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Well, obviously, baseball finds itself in some sticky financial situations in New York and Los Angeles. And, you analyze some of these free agents for next fall. That could really affect the bidding on them.
I think we should have a new TV show. Baseball court. Instead of the People's Court and Divorce Court and Judge Judy's Court, we need baseball court.
Bourne takes off, grounder up the middle, slamming around behind second, and no throw. That ball was slithering with a crazy-looking ground ball, and it winds up being an infield hit for Hunter Pence, kind of snaking around near second base. And he's 2 for 4.
A little flare to center in the first inning, a couple of punch outs. Now this infield knock. And the Astros have a chance here to inflict some damage on McCutchen. Way out in front of that slider, hit it right off the end of the bat, and it's got all kinds of funky spin going on.
It did.
I mean, this is right off the end of the bat.
Looked like it bounced in both directions.
Yeah, it did. It changed directions a couple of times. Tough to read that putt.
That is crazy. Now Carlos Lee, he's 1 for 3. He can give the Astros the lead with a long ball. Each club has 9 hits, 1 error.
Brownie's got a call.
Runners go. No throw on a double steal. Ball 1 to lead.
Love the aggressiveness.
Yes.
And the right guys. Bourne and Pence aboard and not holding Hunter, so there's no question they weren't going to be able to make a play on him. To me, like they just disregarded making a play on anybody.
Yeah. Double steal. Bourne gets his 29th. Pence his 4th of the year. And a foul ball. Now Carlos can tie it with a single.
Astros left the bases loaded in the first, again in the third. Left one man on in the fourth, one more last inning. Plenty of opportunities for both teams tonight.
That's the 4th double steal for the Astros this year. Carlos takes a close one. 2-1 to lead.
Moskos, the left-hander. There's a little more urgency now, anticipating a possible matchup with Wallace.
That was a 1. Followed, and it's 2-2. 91-mile-per-hour fastball from Daniel McCutchen in relief of Charlie Morton. They're waiting for El Caballo. Now it's a full count. And he's waiting for one to swing at.
Too much staying away from Carlos.
Hurdle talked about last night's game, just piecing it together until they got to the closer, Hanrahan, who's perfect this year, 18 for 18. Foul back. .92-mile-per-hour fastball. Ray Searage and Clint Hurdle talk it over on the Pirate bench. Bouncer to shortstop for Cedeno to end the Astros 6th with no runs, 1 hit, 2 men stranded. It's the Pirates 5, the Astros 3 after 6.
of time together for an Astros game at Minute Maid Park. With the Astros Dad's Deal, you get tickets at nearly 50% off any game of your choice against the Red Sox, Rangers, or Rays, and free parking for every 4 tickets you buy. Visit Astros.com/dad for tickets. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Red Sox, Rangers, Rays, all quality opponents. Big games coming up at Minute Maid Park. Meanwhile, Fernando Rodriguez comes in this game. Pirates up 5-3. He is 1-0 with a 2.31 ERA. He has shown a good, lively fastball this year, JD.
Boy, indeed he has. Like his arm. And he's got a good breaking pitch, too. A curveball with a lot of depth. And a good sharp breaker. 19 strikeouts in 11 2/3 innings. That's the number that really jumps out at you. He can make you swing and miss.
And Ariel Del Rosario in 1 inning allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, no walks, 1 strikeout. Brandon Wood gets it going in the 7th inning. And he fouls it back, strike 1. Wood is 0 for 2 with a walk. Jay Happ went the first 5, giving up 2 runs. So Rodriguez tries to put a stop on the Buccos, who have 9 hits. Meanwhile, the pitcher spot is due up second in the bottom of the 7th for Houston. It's 1-1. Wallace to lead it off. Strike 1-2. I mentioned that Fernando Abad is on his way, but may not get here in time to pitch in this game. Jeff Fulcino had to leave the game last night for AAA Oklahoma City, a comebacker.
Well, if Abad gets here by 2 a.m., he'll be in time to pitch in this game.
Yeah, well, kind of the way it's going.
He can have the top of the 15th.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Top of the 15th.
Hello, Uncle Charlie.
That is out number 1. You told us about it. Here it is.
It's a good complimentary pitch to the high 4-seam fastball that he throws too. A combination that a lot of power pitchers have used over the years. Guys like Ryan and Palmer come to mind.
McHenry got his first major league hit in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 3.
O'Kale had a good curveball.
He did. Did you throw that spike curveball?
Mm-hmm.
Fouled away. It's 0-2.
Yeah, you just dig your index finger, the point of it, into the ball. Kind of gets that finger out of the way, so you can impart more spin with your middle finger.
Okay. We'll work on that. We've got a curtain in the booth here.
Do some throwing into the curtain?
Yeah. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fernando Rodriguez from El Paso went to El Paso Community College. He is going to be 27 in 3 more days. He'll be a workable guy in the Astros pen for years to come. He was signed as a free agent last fall.
Like his arm. Right here, Brownie.
So there's the curtain.
Yeah.
Okay.
See how I got that finger kind of, this one digs in.
Okay.
Just basically to get it out of the way. I mean, there's such a thing as a knuckle curve where you're actually pushing the ball like that. That's nuts. Bert Hooton to that. I don't know how to do that. But this is just, that's what they're talking about when they talk about a spike curveball. And one of the original ways guys are taught to throw a curveball is actually take your pointer and just point the ball at the catcher. Just like that. So you start with a 2-finger grip and you just point to get that finger out of the way. And that allows the spin to come out over the top. A good downward breaking curveball.
Well, that's a downward breaking curveball. Foul by McHenry, and it's 2-2. Yeah, that's can be a good ground ball pitch, or I could pop it up, swing through it.
The thing that amazed me is when we were talking to Bert Blyleven a couple of years ago, one of the best curveballs of all time, and he threw his just like his 4-seam fastball, same grip as he used on his 4-seam fastball.
Interesting. Well, we speak of Bert Blyleven, and he was one of the big components in the '79 Pirates. And came in relief in some of those games in the World Series. Really helped them to those wins.
Finally got his due.
Yeah, he did.
He'll be enshrined here pretty soon. Next month, right?
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
I would imagine he would have a very entertaining speech. He's a funny guy.
Bird is. Bird had to wait a long time, and he was somewhat critical in the recent years in which he did not get elected. Astros have some bullpen action right now. Right-hander warming up. It's now 3 balls, 2 strikes. And it is Nery Rodriguez warming up now. We've now got 2 different Rodriguez's in the bullpen with Wandy in the rotation. Crack bad looper out into center field. Broken bad hit for McHenry. McHenry's 2 for 4.
So if I was managing, I would make it a point to have a game where those 3 guys that's who pitched.
Yeah.
It's an all Rodriguez affair.
Sure.
I don't care how they're doing. To lose by 10 runs, I just want that going into the record books.
You just want us to be confused about which Rodriguez it is. And Pudge Rodriguez could be their battery mate. Ronnie Cedeno makes the ball 1. Cedeno 1 for 3 in this game. Still sitting through delay in Atlanta. 3-0 Mets, bottom of the 4th.
If you go to the Astros website and then follow the links to Allison Footer's blog, you'll find a good story there on that appearance those guys made on the Today Show.
Okay.
A little video and pictures, and them hanging out with Al Roker and the gang, and doing a lot of good work.
Well, they had to get up pretty early in the morning, and those guys they were committed to doing things like that in the community.
Clay Walker was there as well.
Okay. Runner was moving on that last pitch. McHenry. Strike comes 1-2.
Coming out a base dealer. More of a hit and run situation. Fernando is not particularly quick to home plate with his delivery. He's a guy who would be susceptible to the stolen base.
Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fernando last year pitched at Salt Lake, and he had an ERA 5.92. Now back. As you noted, his strikeout numbers very good with the Astros, so we're going to check what they were last year in the minor leagues to see if that's something that could be projected. And the Astros obviously like what they saw when they signed him. He struck out 84 in 97 innings at Salt Lake. Fly ball to right, Hunter Pence. 2 outs. Well, Ricky Bennett, who's been out doing scouting, said that that's kind of the mantra. Find guys. You're talking about Charlie Morton tonight, or last night's starter, Jeff Karstens. Try to find some guys like those 2 guys who maybe don't have the types of numbers to indicate tremendous success, but something could be done.
That's what scouting's all about. Anybody can look at the stat sheets, but what do you see in a guy that you could tweak, fix his delivery? Sometimes just a matter of a change of scenery. So, well, the numbers aren't good, but you know what? The guy's throwing 93 with good movement. He's got a nice breaking ball. Let's get him out of there, get him in our organization, and maybe he'll take off.
Right. Paul whacks one to left. Carlos Lee backing now, turning the other way, and that one reaches up into the seats for an opposite field 2-run homer for Paul. And the Pirates lead 7-3 as Paul goes oppo.
Kind of a cheap home run into the Crawford boxes, but that's the downside of Fernando with that high fastball. He is going to be susceptible to giving up the home run.
Number 1 for Paul. Now 7-3. Pirates lead by 4 with Tabata batting. And he rips a line drive over shortstop into the left center field gap. Heading for second base. Carlos Lee getting it back in. He takes the turn. A double for him, and he is now 2 for 5 today.
This fastball just runs right back over the middle of the plate. They're trying to go down and away. Tabata, very good looking young player, 22 years of age. Got a lot of tools.
Now we'll get a double switch. Matt Downs is coming off the bench. Jeff Keppinger coming in. And Brad Mills will bring in a new pitcher as well. McCutchen due up. 7-3 Pirates. Clint Hurdle may want to save his bullpen for the 105 game tomorrow.
Interesting that they're making the pitching change here with the opposing pitcher, a relief pitcher at that, coming up.
It is a 4-run lead. Pirates lead at 7-3. We'll be right back.
In the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of the 2011 MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 12th, live from Phoenix at 7 p.m. Central, only on Fox. And guys, here's a look at those National League leaders.
Polanco at third base there. Do you think he'll be the guy, JD, or might he be overtaken by someone?
Well, I haven't looked at the voting. The third base position is pretty weak, primarily because of injuries in the National League. I think Chipper Jones is second.
Okay. Anewi Rodriguez in the game. Pitcher Daniel McCutchen is the batter with a runner at second and 2 outs. Double switch was made by Brad Mills, and there's ball 1 to McCutchen.
Rodriguez moves from the rotation to the bullpen. Things did not work out for him as a starter, but that doesn't close the book on him as a potential starter.
Caught by Barmas on a liner. In the 7th inning, the Buccos come up with 2 runs on 3 hits, and they stretch their lead to 4, 7-3. They've committed one error. Fans enjoying the 7th inning stretch here and hoping for a big Astros comeback as they come up in the home 7th with Brett Wallace leading it off. Then Matt Downs, who's in the number 6 spot in the order, will be batting second. And Clint Barmas due up third here against Daniel McCutchen, who stayed into bat and lined out the shortstop. So after Charlie Morton went the first 5, it's McCutchen trying to stretch it out and stay in this game for a while.
Are you surprised that he's from Texas and he's right-handed and he wears number 34?
That's a shocker. It's always surprising to see that from a Texas-born right-hander. Wallace has been on base all 3 times tonight. 2 singles and a walk. He's driven in a run. Trying to get it going here with the Astros having 9 hits to this point. And he looks at strike 1. Minnesota beat the White Sox 4-1 with Carl Pavano going to 4-5. Now the infield is shifting around for Wallace. They're just going to give him a bunt single. But it's 0-2. That's the way it looks. And Wood is now moving even further. So Cedeno. Now they get the word and they're really moving.
It's like a blitz package.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's interesting because he would be more inclined once down in the count to hit the ball the other way.
True.
So I don't think they were necessarily reacting to the count. They were just late to get into position where they wanted them positioned originally.
Yes, they were. First base coach not too concerned about it. It's not his job. Swing and a miss, and Wallace is down on strikes.
The split finger pitch there from McCutchen. I think that could be a little disconcerting for a hitter to see the infielder shift that radically in the course of an at-bat. It could get into your head where you say, why are they shifting now? What do they think? How are they going to pitch me?
Right.
Is this a reaction to what McCutchen's going to throw?
Downs fouls it, strike 1. Matt has very good offensive stats for the year. 275 average, 4 homers, 17 runs batted in, 393 on base average, 551 slugging percentage for Matt Downs. Pulls off that one a little bit. It's no balls, 2 strikes. Well, he's been on quite a run lately as a pinch hitter. Reaching base a high percentage of the time the last couple of weeks. 3 for 4, 4 walks and a hit batsman his last 9 plate appearances. 1-2. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. We told you about that Twins win. Twins starting to improve a little bit. They're now 27-39. Started the night 10 behind Detroit, but they're starting to get some people healthy now. And there is still time. Rolled out to shortstop. Cedeno in. 2 outs. Clint Barmas will bat. He's 1 for 3, an RBI double in the 5th. Yankees blasted Texas 12-4. Ivan Nova the winner. 6-4 is his record. He beat Derek Holland. Holland's 5-2. Mark Teixeira wound up hitting a second home run in that game, giving him 21. And sending a text message. Here's ball 1.
The Twins 10 games back, 13 games below 500 and dead last. We'll talk about them some other time.
Because McCutchen takes care of out number 3, and we move to the 8th with the score 7-3 Pirates. because I do not like to do any more pitchers' books tonight. It was a good one, I think. Oh, yeah, he screwed up and then made a nice catch. Okay. McCutchen really gets going and slides on a Carlos Lee fly ball. He might make the highlight reel despite that start.
Well, the oldest cliche in the game. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah, he got there. That's the main thing, and he has the speed to come up with that kind of a play, unlike some other outfielders. Now McCutchen leads it off.
So anyway, I was talking about the Twins there in the last inning, and you know, history is definitely against them. I mean, the amount of times the team has come from that far behind, you know, climbing over so many clubs this late in the year is pretty small. But the fact that it has happened,
yeah,
you know, that's what Ron Gardenhire will point to. The fellas are still in there. Remember the 05 Astros?
You're right. After that 15-30 start, they came roaring through the second half.
04 Astros.
They were
scuffling for a while.
They sure were. They put together a 36-10 run. 2 balls, no strikes. Just fabulous late season baseball from both of those clubs in consecutive years.
Giants win the pennant. Not rallying 51. The 69 Mets. The Yankees 14 games behind the Red Sox in 78, something like that. The year the Bucky Dent home run.
You're right. McCutchen draws a 4-pitch walk. Tough night for the Astros. Now it's Walker. Walker's been a part of that tough night, driving in 3. Perfect night for him. 2 hits, a walk, and a sac fly. And for Rodriguez, who was in the rotation for 8 starts, now moved back to the bullpen where he started the year as a Rule 5 pick. Fernando Rodriguez in 2/3 of an inning allowed 3 hits, 2 runs. No walks, 1 strikeout for Fernando. McCutchen draws a throw. The Pirates are 8th in stolen bases in the National League. They came into this game with 48. There's strike 1 for Rodriguez. Last time he started was Friday, and so this is his first time in relief since he was reassigned to the bullpen. And he lost that game against Atlanta 11-4, giving up 6 runs in 4 innings. And Wandy Rodriguez came back from his injury, and the decision was made to stay with Jordan Lyles in the rotation. Jordan goes tomorrow at 1:05 against James McDonald. That's a My 20 game tomorrow. Hope you can join us. And maybe come out in person. Bring the kids. Give them a real treat an afternoon at a Major League Baseball game. There's a strike. And seeing the youngest player in the major leagues, Jordan Lyles.
Someday, years and years from now, you might be able to say, hey, I was there for Jordan Lyles' first major league win.
True. He was the youngest guy that year in the big leagues, and I saw his first one. 29,866 the paid attendance tonight. 1-2. Final game of the homestand, and then the Astros are on the road for a week. They come back to play those teams we talked about earlier, Tampa Bay, Texas, and Boston, on an American League, an interleague homestand. And when the Astros went to Toronto, Carlos Lee was the DH in all 3 of those games. They'll be going to Arlington, Texas on the second leg of this upcoming road trip and using the DH again. But then those other 3 series at home, the American League has to adjust to the National League rules. Line foul. Do you think all this talk of going to 2 15-team leagues is really serious stuff right now, JD?
Well, serious in that, yeah, I think they're putting a lot of different things on the table and discussing it. But I would still give it less than a 50% chance of happening. But I wouldn't be shocked to see some kind of realignment, either this go around or in the next negotiating session.
Ground ball with the runner going. Wallace takes the out at first. 1 out, McCutchen to second. We ought to do a fan poll. Overbay is 0 for 3 with a walk.
All right.
We ought to do a fan poll on our FoxSportsHouston.com website. Do the fans want the Astros to be a National League team, as they have been for 50 years now, or become an American League team?
Or would you be willing to move to the National League West? Because that's the other thing that's been bandied about, the Arizona Diamondbacks moving to the American League, and then the Astros or somebody moving to the National League West, trying to get equal divisions. NL Central has 6 teams. AL West only has 4. So obviously if you move the Diamondbacks into the AL West and the Astros into the NL West, that evens that all up. It's a television problem. We'd have a lot of games at 9 o'clock Central Time out on the West Coast.
That's not good. Strike to Overbay, and it's 1-2. I kind of like the 2 15-team leagues concept without divisions.
You know, I like that too. I got no problem with that.
It would be really, I mean, you really are talking about interleague play all the time, but you're really not grouped according to any division or any league, so to speak. You are in one sense, but in another sense, everybody plays interleague. So it's the identical schedule as much as it could ever be made for all teams, right?
I guess it just depends on how they did it. I don't know what they would do with the interleague schedule.
Okay.
There'd still be a National League and American League, and there'd still be some interleague play.
Right. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 2 out. Well, with 15 teams, those 15th teams in each league would be playing each other all the time. You'd have those 2 odd teams playing interleague play. But we haven't seen what the proposed schedule of that type of setup would be like, but I've been told it wouldn't be any more interleague games than the teams have now. Here's Wood now. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. And that's strike 1. Adrian Johnson rings it up.
Brownie, there is a poll up on FoxSportsHouston.com about whether you'd like to see the Astros move to the American League.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. Okay, 56% of the people would not support moving the Astros to the American League. 43% would support it.
Let your voice be heard at Fox Sports Houston.
That's right. That's right.
I'm surprised that there are that many proponents of moving to the American League, or at least willing to accept the move to the American League.
Yes.
Johnny Bench is in favor of Major League Baseball realignment.
Interesting. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. And in the 8th inning, after a leadoff walk, Rodriguez gets the next 3. It's still 7-3 Pittsburgh. This morning, but he's been very active tonight. Got an infield hit to third in the 3rd inning and came around to score. Then an RBI single to left in the 4th inning. And then he was hit by a pitch in the 6th and stole another base when he stole 3rd. 2 steals tonight for Michael, an RBI and a run scored.
All in all, pretty darn good day's work for a sick man.
J.R. Tolles leads it off here, 7-3 Pirates, bottom of the 8th inning. Tolles is 0 for 2 with a walk. He has scored a run. Angel Sanchez will bat next, and then Michael Bourne's due up 3rd. Fly ball goes to right center. Andrew McCutchen. 1 pitch, 1 out here. That's 2 1/3 innings of relief for Daniel McCutchen. He could get the rare 4-inning save that you talked about before, that Aurelio Lopez got for you. Just not seen very often, mostly in the American League. Now Sanchez hit a ground ball to shortstop in the 6th inning. Looking at ball 1.
Those extra runs the Pirates scored, cushioning that lead a little bit, then allowed Hurdle to let McCutchen bat and stay in the game.
And he came in with a 5-3 lead. That's the center field. One McCutchen using another. So that's 3 straight outs that Daniel McCutchen has gotten on fly balls to Andrew McCutchen. Mark Melanson warming up for Houston, and it's Michael Bourne up to the plate. Bourne has reached base 3 times out of 4. That 10-0 Washington win over St. Louis in Washington was the first complete game of the year for Livan Hernandez. And the Nationals now have won 5 in a row.
Livan flipping up that 62-mile-an-hour curveball.
That was his 50th career complete game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Trying to think of who might have more, who's active right now in the big leagues.
I'm going to go with nobody.
Okay, I'll go with nobody. Line shot left field. In for a hit. And Michael Bourne has reached for the 4th straight time in this game. 3 hits, and he was hit by a pitch.
Hey, I got a bonus trivia question for you guys.
Okay, fire it up.
There are 3 Hall of Famers who have played shortstop whose last name begins with the letter R.
Ripken.
You're now on the clock.
Okay.
How many were there? I didn't.
3.
Well, Ripken.
Ripken, yeah. Let's see. Jason Michaels is a pinch hitter. And Pee Wee Reese. Booge got that one.
Older yet? Further back than that.
Contemporary.
Oh.
Of Reese.
Oh, Rizzuto.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah.
Give yourself a bell.
Oh, well, I put it away.
Okay.
Ding, ding, ding.
No. Shake your bag then. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's J. Mike fouls it back. Michaels pinch hitting here. And the Astros, trailing by 4, have 10 hits. He's a 182 hitter with 1 homer, 3 runs batted in. Just got his first pinch hit of the year a few nights ago. Fouls that one back. And J. Mike is 1 for 15 this season pinch hitting.
You know, you're talking about shortstops. That brings up my point that I researched before the game. You do realize that if it wasn't for Daniel, Lucius, Doc Adams, none of those 3 would be Hall of Fame shortstops because he's the guy that invented the position.
Invented the position.
Yeah, 1849. Up to that point, a lot of games had 8 players.
Okay.
And then when they started extra players, it was a rover spot originally, and he's the first guy that actually came in on the infield.
That's a pinch hit for J. Mike, his 2nd of the year.
Things were a little loose back in the day. They just invented positions.
Yeah, well, they used to, in the 1840s, they'd play with how many guys you had.
Yeah.
You had 8, you played with 8, and that was a standard number. And then they thought 9 was good because it was very hard to throw the very light ball very far. You know, you couldn't throw it very far, so they had to have relay guys, and that was where the 9 guy came in, kind of as a rover, more of a relay guy from the outfield.
Okay.
And old Doc finally decided, hey, why don't I just play here?
That's interesting.
We need some creative thinkers. Because I remember when we were kids, when we used to play pickup games, you know, in the school, back behind the school or whatever at the local park. And the kid that came late, he would get assigned all-time catcher.
Oh.
And he just caught for both teams. That was the worst job going.
Don't be late.
Can I play? Yeah, you can be the all-time catcher. And then if you hung around long enough, and somebody feels sorry for you, okay, you can play, you can bat. We were wrong on the complete games. Active leader in complete games is Roy Halladay.
Well,
with 62. Levon is second with his 50 now.
Good stuff. Hunter Pence with the Astros down by 4. Comes up with 2 men on and 2 outs. He is 2 for 4. Ray Searage just went out. Pirates have a right-hander working in their bullpen.
Swing away from a 1-run game.
Yes.
McCutcheon out there has now thrown 50 pitches.
Mark Melanson in the Houston bullpen. It's 1-1. And there Rodriguez for an inning in the 3rd, giving up no hits, no runs with a walk and 2 strikeouts.
It's probably been his best pitch tonight. McCutcheon has allowed 4 home runs so far.
Hit to 3rd, and there's the forced play by Wood to end the Astros 8th with no runs, 2 hits, 2 men stranded. We go to the 9th, 7-3 Pirates. On the bench, Xavier Paul hit one. So Landry's Crawford boxes.
Pitch he had no business swinging at. Neck high. Should have taken it.
First home run of the year for Xavier Paul. Now the Pirates lead at 7-3. And Mark Melanson comes in. He is pitcher number 5 for the Astros. With a 4-1 record, his ERA is 1.67.
Brandon Line going back on the disabled list. Mark Melanson will continue to work as the closer for the Astros. Obviously, this is not a safe situation. Just trying to stay sharp, get an inning of work here tonight.
And he would love it to be a quick inning because he may be asked to close tomorrow afternoon with the 1:05 start. Michael McHenry leads it off. McHenry is 2 for 4 tonight. There's 2 major league hits in this game for Michael. Varmus is there to catch his liner. There's a 1-pitch out.
The Phillies came all the way from behind to beat the Marlins in 10 innings, 5-4, sweeping that doubleheader. They went 8-1 in the opener. And then the nightcap 5-4. Matson beat Dunn. The Fish continue to flounder.
Boy. Fish are getting fried. It's deflected out to shortstop. Varmus drops it, and Cedeno's able to reach. Melanson got a glove on it, and that redirected it. So Cedeno's on first with 1 out.
Redirected it and may have put some funky spin on it, too, which may have created a problem for Varmus. It's going to be a difficult play anyway. Cedeno, who runs well going down the line, but I think if he gets it cleanly, he's got him. But that thing had a lot of funky spin, and it just jumped up on him at the end.
Ruled a hit for Cedeno. He's 2 for 5 tonight. Now Xavier Paul. Paul hit that home run we just saw, but earlier he had a double. So 2 for 2 tonight with 2 extra base hits for Paul, the former Dodger. Double play set up for the Astros with Downs at second base and Varmus at short. There's ball 1 to Paul.
Reds beat the Dodgers 7-2. Chad Billingsley continues to struggle. He's allowed 30 hits in his last 13 2/3 innings of work.
Ouch.
And he has drawn the ire of rookie skipper Don Mattingly.
Really?
Yeah, Donnie Ballgame firing a little bit after the game. Not happy with his inability to locate and put away hitters.
His previous tough start was in Colorado. The Phillies, with that sweep of the doubleheader over Florida, continue to look strong. They've been picking up more offense in recent games. Strike to Paul makes it 1-1.
Well, it wasn't too long ago that I was really bullish on the Marlins. They have gone south in a hurry.
Well, you know, the pitching has let them down, and then Hanley Ramirez got hurt, went on the DL, and they weren't getting anything from that position.
And Josh Johnson being out obviously doesn't help.
True. Fouled away. It's 1-2. San Francisco at Arizona leads 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th inning now. Willie Bloomquist hit home run number 2 of the year for Arizona, and Chris Young number 13. Carlos Lee is due to lead it off for the Astros in the home 9th inning with Wallace and Downs to follow. It's 2-2. Pirates have 13 hits. The Astros with 11. Each club with 1 error. Pittsburgh has left 11. Houston has stranded 12.
I'll say this much. It's a good thing we started this game early tonight.
1 minute?
Yeah. Every minute counts.
That's really going to help. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes. How many pitches do you think have been thrown in this game?
Oh, man.
320?
I don't know. That might be a little steep.
Okay.
But a lot.
We'll try to get a total for you by the bottom of the inning. Morton threw 109. Runner going, and that's foul.
Jay was up over 100 too, right?
He was at 108. So pretty even through 5 innings. Still 3-2. McCutchen has really saved the bullpen, though, for Clint Hurdle. Chris Riesopp is warming up now, but McCutchen has worked 3 innings in relief. He's thrown 52 pitches. That's 161 pitches thrown by the Pirate hurlers through 8. Runner going, and it's lined into left field. What a night for Paul. He's 3 for 3 off the bench in this game. Double homer single. Cedeno to second with 1 out.
Yeah, how about that? Come into the ball game in the 6th inning and you're 1 hit away from a cycle.
There have been 343 pitches thrown in this game tonight.
Wow. You weren't steep.
Jose Tabata has 2 hits and 5 at bats. He scored a run. 7-3 Pirates. They have 14 hits. Last year they were swept here in the season series, 0-9. No balls and a strike. A win tonight would make them the first Pirate team to be above 500 during the month of June since '99.
I'm telling you, Clint Hurdle's going to be mayor of Pittsburgh if they finish 500.
Yeah. Well, they will respond to a winner there. Kansas City nothing, Oakland nothing. They're in the bottom of the 6th at Oakland. Mets lead Atlanta 3-0 after 6. They've restarted after a rain delay.
And same in Chicago. Lengthy rain delay there, but they're back underway. It's a 5-4 Brewer lead over the Cubs. Each team putting 3 on the board in the 5th. Zambrano and Narveson.
Brewers can move into first by a game if they win that one. It's 2-2. Thinking about J.R. Tolles after a game like this. He was just absolutely beaten up early in this game. He hit the deck on a pitch up and in, then he fouled the ball off his shin. And he's caught all these pitches tonight. And those folks have no idea how he hurts right. Pedro Siriaco's in the on-deck circle. 2 hopping it downs. Varmus safe at first. Out number 2 went from 4-6 on Paul. The fans really showing their disgust at the Adrian Johnson call at first.
Wow. Adrian Johnson got it right. I do believe. It was a good turn by Varmus. Tabata was clearly safe. Up steps Pedro Serrano.
Well, close to that.
Jobu.
Pedro Siriaco, actually.
I'm thinking you got to curve him.
Yeah, well, we'll see. As Siriaco comes to the plate for the first time in this series. And he is pinch hitting for McCutchen. Daniel in 3 innings. Well, the Astros 3 hits and no runs. Siriaco with a broken bat roller. Sanchez throws him out. In the 9th for the Pirates, it's no runs, 2 hits. 2 men stranded, 7-3 Buccos. Bottom of the 9th coming.
Group. For money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Astros up, bottom of the ninth. New pitcher for the Pirates, Bill Brown in the booth.
Thank you, Greg Lucas. It is Chris Riesop taking over on the mound after Daniel McCutcheon went 3 innings, allowing 3 hits and no runs. He did not walk anybody, hit a batter, and struck out 1. Riesop is 2-2. His ERA is 4.25. With the 4-run lead, it is not a safe situation for him.
If the save were in order, I'm sure Clint Hurdle would have gone to a Hanrahan. And depending on how things develop, he may ultimately do that if the Astros put a threat together. There is action in the Pirate bullpen. I'm assuming Hanrahan. I'm not sure of that. It would be logical to assume.
Yes, it would be. Riesop is 28 years old. Pitched last night, 1/3 of an inning. It is Hanrahan warming up. He got a hold. He came in with a 1-0 lead. The man on. And caught Jeff Keppinger looking at strike 3. Not time to leave yet. They're hoping for a big 9th inning with Carlos Lee leading it off. He's 1 for 4. Then you see Brett Wallace, number 29, making his way to the on-deck circle, with Matt Downs due up 3rd. Clint Barmas would love the chance to bat as well here in the home 9th inning. Lee got a single his first time up. Carlos looks at strike 1. Fly ball behind first base. And Paul comes in into foul ground, but it's a foul ball for a strike. 0-2.
It's one of the highest uncaught balls you're ever going to see.
Yeah.
It was in the air a long while.
Because Paul was so deep and swung around. Yep. He couldn't get there, and Walker couldn't make it over. Let's see how.
I noticed with Paul last inning that he was very deep.
Sure is.
It's one thing if you're playing no doubles in a tight game, but it's a 4-run game.
1 ball, 2 strikes. He's back in front of the Stanley sign. Out of play. It's still a 1 ball, 2 strike count on El Caballo. Mets 4, Atlanta nothing. They're in the bottom of the 7th now. More and more stories coming out of New York about whether Jose Reyes will be traded. He is having just a fabulous year.
This new infusion of capital, they won't have to trade him.
Probably not.
I mean, sooner or later, right? They're going to get the ship in order, and the potential revenue streams there, being New York, are really good.
Yeah. They certainly are. In the dirt, Carlos started the bat. Yep, Adrian Johnson rings it up as a strikeout. 1 out. Carlos tried to check it. Brett Wallace has a pair of hits and a walk tonight. He's driven in a run.
Kevin and Art still here?
No, they're not here anymore.
Well, they're waving out there.
Oh, there they are.
They're out there.
Art would never give up on a baseball game.
We're here. See, look at this.
You guys are gamers.
Hey, remember you talking about Chuck Tanner being such an optimist? I think this may question him today. It may test him, fellas.
It may.
Ernie Banks wouldn't want to play too.
He would have felt like he had played too.
Yeah. Oh, here comes the shift now. They're doing it again. Artie, what do you make of this?
Why would they do this now?
This mid-at-bat shift.
What are they doing, Art?
You got me. He hits the ball the other way more than he pulls it.
Well, at least this time it's 2-0, where guy might be more inclined to pull it. But last time it was like 1 ball, 2 strikes when they went into their zone shift.
I'd like to know who their advanced scout is. I don't know how many games he's watched.
3 balls, no strikes to Brad Wallace. Art, when you were a bench coach, there you see ball 4 for Wallace, and positioning those players, was there one guy on the infield whose job it was to look at you all the time for positioning?
No, hopefully they paid attention to the reports we gave them beforehand. We go over positioning on every player on the opposing club. So, but every once in a while you look out there and see that someone hasn't listened too well.
You know what I thought was kind of interesting? You talked about some of those smaller market teams that they would pull their scouts off the road once they realized they were out of it. So you're out there flying blind a little bit.
Yeah. I've been there.
Second half of the season.
Yeah.
Well, and now with so much technology and video and all the different statistical services that are available, you see less and less of guys out there.
Art, I wanted to ask you also about the trips to the mound by catchers. Was that ever an issue for you when you were managing, that you really didn't want them to make those constant trips to the mound?
My catchers very rarely went out, unless there was a real difference of opinion on a pitch. But we wanted the pitchers to stay in a rhythm as much as possible.
Okay.
See, this is what we do. We hang out. We talk to the people. The people talk to us.
That's a good spot, Kevin.
Yeah, it is. It's a good place to people watch. I can promise you that. There's some interesting folks, especially after a 3.5-hour game, guys.
I can imagine.
They get a lot more interesting.
1 ball, 1 strike.
I think Jimmy used to frown upon anybody coming out to see him too often, right? Right, Jimmy?
My favorite is the Danny Darwin story. When I think it was Jason Kendall when Danny was in Pittsburgh, and I think it was Kendall, but whoever the catcher was came out to talk to Darwin, and the catcher said, "What do you want to do here?" And Dr. Des says, "I don't know, but you got 60 feet 6 inches to figure it out. Now turn around and get back behind home plate."
Tim McCarver telling the stories of him having to go out. They would try to stall whenever Gibson was pitching. He said he'd be scared to death because here I am, a rookie, going out there, and manager would be mad at me because I didn't want to go out, and Gibson would be mad at him for coming out. What did Gibson told him the only thing he knew about hitting was or pitching was that it was hard to hit.
Yeah, that's right. That he couldn't handle it. Yeah, and that's always the fun one, when the catcher's sent out just to buy time for the guy in the bullpen, and you're pitching and you know it, and you want to stay in the game, so you're trying to chase the guy back, and he's just saying, "I got to come out here. Skipper sent me out here. Nothing I can do."
Whose side are you on anyway?
Foul ball by Matt Downs. The count stays at 1-2.
You guys really do need to come out here and broadcast the game some night.
We used to do that, Kevin, as you know. Didn't like it that much.
Come on out here one night.
One night, okay.
Come on out. Live with the commoners for an evening.
Well, I'll do it from a lawn chair on Tal's Hill.
That would be
good. I want to do a game.
Little umbrella out there.
Yep. We're so spoiled, though, Kevin, with the creature comforts. And the worst thing is the game is just turned around reverse for us.
I know.
When we do that. But it's always something, isn't it?
Sit right out there. Spread out a blanket or a picnic basket and watch a ball game.
Well, how about Lindsey Nelson when he broadcast from the top of the Astrodome?
Now, what in the world could he have seen up there? And you think about it, that was probably before the technology of him having a TV monitor up there.
Yeah.
And
they would have
no
to give
idea.
me a raise to go up there, I'll tell you that.
And according to one story, Art, they were having the meeting at home plate with the umpires, and Casey Stengel says, "Now, is my announcer part of the ground rules up there?"
Anything off Lindsey is a ground rule double.
And, if you were an infielder looking up there for a pop-up and saw that plaid sport coat, there's no way you could pick the ball out of that.
That's a good point. He may have just blended right into the roof, to the ceiling. Hey, do you guys remember, I know because it may have been before you got here, but do you remember the gondola that used to hang from the top of the dome?
Yes.
Wasn't sure if that had gone with the renovation or not.
That was quite something. rolls one just outside third base. Still a 2-ball, 2-strike count. This will be the 10th pitch coming to Matt Downs.
And a good tough at bat, boy, and after a long night, you know, you think the concentration might waver a little bit, but giving you a good tough AB here.
JD, I know you were primarily a starter, but if you went to the guys in the bullpen, not let them look up at the scoreboard, how many do you think would know what the score is?
That's a very good question.
All right, guys, I feel really
50%.
left out of this conversation.
All right, what do you have for us, Patty?
I don't really have anything to add. I just wanted to be part of it.
She just felt left out.
Well, you know, Patty, Father's Day is coming up.
You know,
Sunday.
is that all I get, Bill? I get you throw me the bone of Father's Day?
No, you can chime in with anything you'd like. Completely open mic.
It's open mic night here at Minute Maid Park.
I could sing.
25 runners left on between these two teams. 25 hits, 25 left on.
There's another hit. Matt Downs comes through. He's usually going to hit, even if he gets only a couple of at-bats in a game.
Pretty impressive.
I'm predicting a pitching change right now.
I think you got to go talk to him, settle him down.
I think the former manager is making a call here.
You got it, Art.
He's got he remembers what happened in Pittsburgh.
Well, the closer's going to get a save.
Well, he can only go so far and feel comfortable with it. And Hanrahan is 18 for 18, Mr. Automatic in saves. So there's the change. Pittsburgh 7, Houston 3. Back in a moment.
Bill.
Oh, well, there you go.
That was a quote, so we'll see. By the way, last night, Major League record, 10 pitchers in a 1-0 game. Tonight, Major League record, 6 announcers with open mics at the same time.
Wow.
Barmas with a grounder to third. Wood goes to second. And that's out number 2 with runners at first and third now as Hanrahan tries to get save number 19.
The catcher is
Been quite a fabulous year for him so far. 18 for 18.
Clint was trying to open up, maybe cheat on one there, and then ultimately had to reach for it, rolled over a little bit. Throws down to their final out.
J.R. Tolles 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Angel Sanchez on deck. Barmas is not being held on at first.
Well, might as well take second base here.
Bobby Meacham has said something to him. Hanrahan got the save last night in a 1-0 win. There goes Barmas without a play at second. And it's ball 2. It's defensive indifference. No stolen base for Barmas.
JR hits the ball on the ground on the left side a lot and takes away that force option at second base. You don't do it if there's any risk of being thrown out, but when they're not holding you on and they're not likely to throw, just go ahead and take it.
2-1 now. Hanrahan has converted 20 straight saves going back to last year, 18 this year. Foul away. It's going to get very interesting in here if JR hits one out.
Well, I'm going with the bloop and the blast, and we're tied theory.
Okay. Hanrahan gave up 6 homers last year in 69 innings.
Saw him reach 98 miles an hour on the radar gun last night.
And he gets a strikeout to close it out. 7-3 Pirates. As Pittsburgh has won the first 2 of this 3-game series. Finale tomorrow on May 20 at 1 o'clock. Clint Hurdle's Pirates are over 500. 34 and 33. First time since June of '99 the Pirates have been over 500 in the month of June. And there's the final, 7-3.
What's that?
Are you Astros fan?
Yes. Yes, I'm good.
You want one? One more.
Okay, I got it.